Mix. Lose weight. Start now.
That's for babies. That's for babies. Babies. For babies. That's for babies. That's for... Oh, I like these.
Tasty, crunchy, and made with 100% natural whole grain oats. No wonder kids never outgrow them. The one and only Cheerios.
Thursday night on WGN America, ARAM and the Cubs look to make a few deposits at the Bank in Philly. Tonight at 7 East on WGN America.
Leap, and a net will appear.
Who's a net?
No, a net to catch you.
The following is a sports presentation of WGN America.
We greet you tonight from Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Tonight, the Cubs open up a 4-game weekend set against the club with the best record in the majors, the Philadelphia Phillies. And we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. And hi again, everyone. Alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. This will not be an easy weekend. The Phillies are not a perfect team, but again, they have the best overall mark in the major leagues. Bob, the Cubs yesterday snapped an 8-game losing streak, and while it wasn't a perfect game, it was pretty close.
It was a really good ball game when you consider that going back to spring training, we thought the Cubs were going to have to win with strong starting pitching, getting at least 6 out of their starter. They were able to do that yesterday, even though there was some question about Ryan Dempster when that game began. The Marmol Wood Marshall formula at the end of the ball game, and slugging some home runs. Carlos Pena and Aramis Ramirez going back-to-back. Only the second time this year the Cubs have had back-to-back home runs.
And for Ramirez, just his 3rd homer of the season. This is a good home run ballpark. Hopefully the Cubs can get some offense against a very stingy Philadelphia Phillies pitching staff. And speaking of the Phillies, they don't slug like they used to. They only have 1 home run in the month of June, but man, can they pitch.
They can pitch with the best of them. I mean, they're a deep starting rotation. Their bullpen has been very good. You see the runs per game down from last year, but so is the team ERA, down a half a run from last season. When you pitch it and catch it that well, you don't need to score a lot of runs to win.
Well, coming up the rest of the weekend after tonight, Halladay, Lee, and Oswalt against the Cubs. It's Kyle Kendrick for the Phillies, and Randy Wells will go for the Cubs for just the 4th time this season. Cubs and Phils next.
Are you ready to hear something that will actively excite you?
Sure.
Your favorite shows and
Your favorite characters are on WGN America.
Huzzah! Oh, that's fantastic!
Darwin.
Greg? Oh. Richard.
Christine.
See, I'm ridiculous.
Elliot.
Johnny D.
Ooh, I like that.
Ted.
Barney.
Freeze frame high five.
Wow.
Out loud 24/7 365.
When you're looking for a twist, crack open a Bud Light line.
It's a fraction of the whole, but it's hard to control.
The great taste of Bud Light with a twist. Bud Light Lime. All the refreshment of Bud Light with a splash of 100% natural lime flavor. Bud Light Lime. It's Bud Light with a twist.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do woodchucks chuck wood?
Hey, you dang woodchucks! Quit chugging my wood!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
At Dairy Queen, we don't stop at good enough. We don't just stop at treats. We also make amazing food. We don't just give you a bacon cheese grill burger for lunch. We give you a shake, too, for just $3.99. We don't just have a fluffy cloud. We have a fluffy cloud that goes... Yeah! And I'm not just water skiing. I'm water ski boxing. Because at Dairy Queen, good isn't good enough. Yeah! A quarter-pound bacon cheese grill burger and a famous DQ shake for just $3.99. So good, it's ridiculous.
Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Bud Light Lime. The just right taste of Bud Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Ford, the newest vehicles on the road are now at your local Ford store, like the all-new Ford Explorer, SUV, 100% reinvented. Visit localfordstores.com. Ford, drive one. And by the Illinois Lottery. How does $1,000 a week every week for the rest of your life sound? Then play Cash for Life instant games from the Illinois Lottery. The longer you live, the more you get. Chicago Cubs baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Now let's look in on Mike Quaddy's Pepsi lineup, brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Fukudome, Barney, and Castro back in the lineup. Starlin was out yesterday. Pena, Ramirez, DeWitt in the middle. Soto, the struggling Tyler Colvin, and Randy Wells at the bottom.
Take a look at the Phillies defensively. Raul Ibanez in left, Shane Victorino in center, Dominic Brown, one of their fine young prospects, out in right field. Polanco and Rollins on the left side of the infield. Chase Utley making only his 14th start of the season. Been dealing with some knee issues, did not even play in a spring training game this year. Ryan Howard over at first base. Dane Sardina doing the catching tonight for right-hander Kyle Kendrick. Kendrick has bounced back and forth between the bullpen and the rotation. This will be his 4th start of the year, his 2nd in a row. Features a tailing fastball, a cut fastball, and a really good straight changeup. Righties have actually hit him better than lefties, and usually when that happens, it's because the pitcher has a good straight changeup.
Fielding Culbreth in his 15th year. South Carolina native will handle the plate. Gary Cedarstrom is the crew chief at first. Adrian Johnson at second. Alan Porter at third. Probably be the 156th consecutive sellout here at Citizens Bank Park. 93 degrees, and that actually sounds low. A blistering hot day, and it is carried right up until game time. Cubs snapping an 8-game losing streak last night, trying to start a winning streak tonight. And the first pitch from Kendrick to Fukudome is a called strike.
Kendrick, a guy that will pitch to contact, only 12 strikeouts in 33 1/3 innings pitched. He's actually walked more than he struck out this season. Relies heavily on that sinking fastball, the straight changeup, and the cutter, as I mentioned.
Fouled back behind the Cubs dugout. Kosuke has been a different hitter at Wrigley Field than he has been on the road. It's a pretty stark split. One-two pitch is too high and off the plate inside. 2-2. Joe Blanton is on the disabled list with right elbow inflammation. Vance Worley has made 4 starts. He's now back at AAA. 4th start of the year for Kendrick and his 17th overall appearance. We sit here, Bob, and talk about The other guys in this rotation, the Cubs will see 3 of their top 4, including Roy Oswalt, on Sunday. But Kendrick has a sub-4 ERA himself.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the show a very deep starting rotation. Even with Blanton on the disabled list, they can throw some arms at you.
Up in the air, shallow center. And it's Jimmy Rollins giving way. Shane Victorino has it. And this is what the Cubs have coming up the rest of the weekend. Carlos Zambrano has been the Cubs' most consistent starter. Will face Roy Halladay tomorrow night. Garza and Cliff Lee on Saturday, and then Davis and Oswalt on Sunday here on WGN. Cliff Lee's only 5-5. Ball 1 to Darwin Barney.
Well, not only do the Phillies pitch it well, but they catch it well. The 3rd fewest errors in the National League. Even though they're not quite as agile, they don't cover quite as much ground as they used to. Still very heady veteran players. They position themselves well, and they rarely kick it around.
Charlie Manuel is the only Phillies manager ever to lead his team to 4 straight division titles and 2 consecutive National League pennants. 801 career wins with the Phillies, and going back to his Cleveland Indians days. And even though the Phillies have the best record in baseball, he's far from satisfied, because he's an old hitting coach and they're not hitting.
Well, not only that they're not hitting, but the way they're not hitting. Yeah, an article in the local paper today talking about all around baseball, the over-aggressiveness of hitters getting themselves into favorable counts and then chasing pitchers' pitches 2-0 and 3-1. That drives Charlie crazy.
Called strike 3 to get Darwin Barney. First strikeout for Kendrick.
Unusual to see Darwin Barney caught looking. That pitch maybe a little bit off the inside corner, down and in, but way too close to take with 2 strikes.
Now Starlin Castro, after missing just his 2nd game of the year yesterday, the Cubs, as we said in the open, played very well, winning 4-1 to snap the 8-game losing streak. Fastball for a strike. Pena on deck. The splits have been pretty drastic, Bob. Castro with a lot better numbers in the leadoff spot than in the 3-hole. That's high and deep out into left center, and it's going to be caught by Victorino right up against the barrier. It's very reachable out there in that part of the ballpark. Phillies coming up after the Cubs fail to score.
0 calories. Maximum Pepsi taste.
Tommy. T-H-O.
CC, glad you made it. Ricky wins again.
Oh, what is this place?
Iowa. Only with maximum Pepsi taste and 0 calories.
Whoa.
I love it when he does that.
Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball.
As your love has evolved, so have your gifts. From I like you, I really like you. I love you. I will always love you. And sometimes a gift says you mean more to me than anything else in the world. Life insurance from New York Life ensures your loved ones will always be taken care of. With 166 years of financial strength, it's the most selfless gift you can give. New York Life, the company you keep.
Tile regrout.
Grout tool, grout float, grout sealer, grout sponge, caulk, and a drop cloth.
Retaining wall.
Decorative block, tape measure, stakes, string,
slag sand, hand tamper, flat pointed shovel. Booyah.
Someone's done his homework.
12-volt cordless drill, flashlight, and drill bit set, just $29.97. Portable sports chair with armrest, now just $6.99. Save over 40%. Get a 16-inch fan with remote, now $16.99. Hurry, sale ends Saturday.
For the right tools, products, and advice, True Value. Start right. Start here.
Time now for the Phillies starting lineup. Just 17th in the major leagues in runs and 22nd in slugging. Rollins, Polanco, and Utley at the top. Howard, Victorino, Ibanez in the middle. Brown, Sardina, the backup catcher, and Kendrick at the bottom.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively tonight behind Randy Wells. Brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. It'll be DeWitt, Colvin, and Fukudome across the outfield tonight. Ramirez, Castro, Barney, Pena, third to first once again across the infield. Giovanni Soto doing the catching for right-hander Randy Wells. He was the starting pitcher in that 12-inning game that ended on an Albert Pujols home run. Pitched effectively in that game, 5 2/3, gave up only 3 hits and 1 walk. Needs to keep the ball down in this ballpark. That sinker, change up, work it along the bottom of the zone.
Jimmy Rollins back in the Phillies lineup after fouling a ball off his right knee. So he missed 4 consecutive starts. Did pinch hit on Tuesday. And back among the starting 9 tonight. Phillies have not really had their kind of projected everyday lineup altogether, but one time all season. Chase Utley missed the first 46 games with a right knee injury. Shane Victorino with time on the DL. Two balls and a strike. Topper foul. We are email accessible at LennonBob@Tribune.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Phillies play a lot of close games, and they are 19-11 in games decided by 2 or fewer runs as Rollins strikes out to start it.
Like the change up from Randy Wells. Good downward movement. Starts it at the bottom of the zone. Bounces it in the dirt. Gets a swinging strike from Jimmy Rollins. Good start for Randy.
Brings up Placido Polanco. Doesn't strike out much.
This is possibly the best number 2 hitter, certainly in the National League, maybe in all of baseball. Handles the bat extremely well. He's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
And makes a lot of contact. He is a career .303 hitter, a swinging bunt. And Wells booted it literally. Looked like he looked up. That was kind of a tweener. Do I tag him? Do I flip it to Pena? And he never did get a handle on it. And that'll be an error on Wells.
Got a little ahead of himself there. The first thing you have to do is pick up the baseball. Then you can decide whether to tag the runner or flip on to Carlos Pena. Unfortunately, Randy Wells just never got a handle on that baseball. Yeah, clearly looked up to his target before he had that ball.
Brings up Utley. Making just his 14th start of the year. Activated from the DL on May 23rd. Missed all of spring training with the right knee injury.
And Charlie Manuel has gone on record as saying they're going to have to keep a close eye on Chase Utley and monitor his playing time until they're sure that he can handle the workload. That may go on all season long.
The 0-1 pitch. Big swing. He fouled it straight back. .35 games against the Cubs. Chase Utley has done some serious damage. Cubs actually won 4 of 6 last year against the Phillies. It was their first season series win against the Phils since 2001. That pitch in the dirt. As always, the Phillies do like to run, and when they do, they're normally successful. They lead, or have led, the big leagues for a long time in stolen base percentage.
.44 out of 52 this season. Fewest caught stealing in the National League, along with the Cubs because we don't run much at all, and Houston because they pick their spots well too.
They have the second best stolen base percentage in the majors this year, trailing Houston. That's pulled to right, but foul. Actually, their running is down. They're about middle of the pack in the majors. They don't get thrown out very much.
Ball hooking foul right from the moment he made contact. Utley took about 2 steps out of the batter's box and then just stopped and watched that ball hook into foul territory. I mean, Victorino spent time on the disabled list this year. We talked about Utley and his right knee problems kind of inhibiting his running game. Jimmy Rollins with a bruised knee. So the guys that you would most expect to be the base stealing threats haven't been at 100% very often this season.
And Gio will go out and have a quick word with Wells before the 2-2 pitch.
The new Bud Light Bleacher Series provides fans with exciting new opportunities in the Bud Light bleachers this season, including free T-shirt Mondays, $3 12-ounce draft Bud and Bud Light Tuesday nights, and $1 Vienna beef hot dog Wednesdays. Tuesday night special is also available in select locations in the seating bowl. For more information and to purchase tickets, as always, visit Cubs.com.
Another ball pulled foul. Wells working the edges of that strike zone against a guy who, you make a mistake against him, especially in this ballpark, he'll park it in right. Utley only has 1 home run, but we've seen his power against the Cubs in the past. Pulls that one into right for a base hit. Polanco's going to stop at second. And here comes Ryan Howard.
As we saw on Pitch Tracks, a steady diet of pitches away from Chase Utley. I think you have to make him aware inside at some point in the at-bat. He stands very close to home plate and pitches on the outer third of the plate, even on the outside corner. He can reach and hit hard to his pull field. I think at some point Randy Wells is going to have to stand Chase Utley up, get him off the plate a little bit, at least make him aware that he will pitch inside.
Howard homered last night against the Dodgers. That snapped the Phillies' season-long 65 1/3 inning homerless streak, and it's their only homer in the month of June. And he is paid to hit home runs. He leads the league with 16 go-ahead RBIs.
Well, he's not paid to strike out, but he does that a lot too. 74 punch-outs already this season in 61 ball games.
He set a Phillies record with 27 April RBIs. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss on a change. 2-1.
The thing that makes Ryan Howard so dangerous, especially in this ballpark, is he has power everywhere. He's just as likely to take you deep to left field or straight away center as he is to pull the ball to right.
And he does hit the ball the other way. Blake DeWitt with a long run. This slicing fly will be caught in foul territory. Big second out for Randy Wells.
A nice running catch by Blake DeWitt. A lot of ground to cover. He was shaded. Howard a little bit toward the gap in left center. Had a long run to get over there in foul territory and make the catch.
Shane Victorino, switch hitter. Recently came off the disabled list. He had a right hamstring strain. And a strike.
One of the great nicknames in baseball, the Flying Hawaiian.
And a former Rule 5 pick. Pretty good pick, wouldn't you say? Got him from the Dodgers in December of '04. He's been an all-star once. He's won 3 Gold Gloves. Nice play by Soto.
Perfectly executed off the heel of the glove into the chest protector. Did not get far enough away for the runners to advance. Nice job.
Popped into the left, and it'll be Blake DeWitt yet again. And the inning is over. An error, a single, 2 left. We are scoreless after 1 from Philly.
When you're looking for a twist, crack open a Bud Light line.
It's a fraction of the whole, but it's hard to control.
The great taste of Bud Light with a twist. Bud Light Lime. All the refreshment of Bud Light with a splash of 100% natural lime flavor. Bud Light Lime. It's Bud Light with a twist.
What makes Dove Men Plus Care different from other deodorants? Only Dove Men Plus Care combines 48-hour protection with our caring 1/4 moisturizer technology in a non-irritant formula. New Dove Men Plus Care deodorant. Tough on sweat, not on skin.
We have a pretty big family, and Olive Garden is one of the few places we can take them where everyone's happy.
Try our new 4-cheese pasta chetties with grilled chicken breasts and a garlic cream sauce, or with grilled sausage, starting at just $9.95. Only at Olive Garden.
Boy, I'm glad we got Aflac, huh?
Aflac?
Oh, I've just got major medical.
Major medical.
But helps pay the doctors.
Pays the doctors, boy! Huh?
Oh, yeah? What about your family? We added Aflac, so we get cash. It's like our safety net. To help with the mortgage or whatever we need. So my family doesn't feel the pain, too.
Help protect your family at Aflac.com.
Don't worry, Lucky. These Wheat Thins Crunch Sticks will save us.
Wheat Thins Crunch Sticks. Try our new flavors.
Bravo. Just a big bravo.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN TV is sponsored in part by Mega Millions and now Powerball from the Illinois Lottery. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot stands at $33 million, while Saturday's Powerball jackpot, $20 million.
We're in South Philly. Game 1 of a 4-game weekend series. Carlos Pena with 9 home runs. The latest was a game winner yesterday in Cincinnati. And he looks at ball 1 outside from Kyle Kendrick. Got that big fan. Would you say it's Randy's biggest fan?
His biggest fan tonight for sure. Might have had a few bigger fans in St. Louis, but
bounced right to Ryan Howard, who has not made an error this year. It goes 3-1. Another guy who doesn't make any errors over in the Cubs radio booth, Pat Hughes, and it's great to see him back in action tonight. He sat out a rare game yesterday, had some pain in his right arm, and ended up in the hospital. Bobby has a herniated disc in his neck, and he said it felt like there was an elephant sitting on his arm, is the way he described it. But he was able to fly last night here to Philadelphia, and he's right back to work tonight with Keith Moreland and Judd Surratt. Keith Moreland back here in Philadelphia, a member of the 1980 World Series champion Phillies. You see Judd Surratt, Matt Bolts working hard in the background, or hardly working. Fouled back by Ramirez. Have you had a herniated disc, a bulging disc in your neck?
Not in my neck. I had some issues in my lower back, but never in the neck. And yeah, Pat told us he had radiating pain down his right arm. A lot of the same warning signs that you would get if you had some problems with your ticker. So we were all very, very concerned, and still are, for Pat's well-being. But good to see him in the booth smiling.
Sardina will give it a look, but it's going to be about 3 rows back. Let's check out Keith Moreland about 30-plus years ago. His hair was a little longer.
A lot of that going around.
Yeah. And he had a zipper on the front of his shirt. Another 0-2 to Ramirez. That one bounced off the front foot.
Three pitches, 3 swings for Aramis Ramirez. Some things never change. He is one of the more aggressive swingers in all of baseball. Hit the home run yesterday after Carlos Pena's 2-run bomb. Hit a solo homer of his own on the first pitch. Made out on the first pitch his next 2 at-bats after the home run.
Kendricks from Mount Vernon, Washington, as he deals on a 1-2. Kendrick was recently in the news, but not for his pitching. He had his 2008 World Series ring stolen. A few weeks ago, they found it in a swamp in Washington. It had been taken from his home during spring training while he was in Florida. Ramirez will have to get another bat. Cub fans, if you want to manage the game along with Mike Quaddy, log on to WGNTV.com right now. Click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner and connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and info while watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more. See the Cubs skipper with his game face on tonight. That's driven deep to left. Ibanez will have to play it off the wall, and Ramirez is going to try to stretch it into 2, and he is out. Jimmy Rollins got that throw from Ibanez. Quickly fired a strike to Utley. It'll be a single, and Ramirez is out trying to stretch it into a double. 7-6-4.
Oh, was crushed to left field. Unfortunately, hits high off the wall and ricocheted right back to Raul Ibanez. Oh, just an absolutely perfectly executed relay. Any mistake anywhere along the line here, Ramirez is probably in with a double, but Rollins fields the throw on a hop, throws on the move to Utley, who gets the tag down quickly. Little stumble going around first base there. Maybe if he wasn't watching the flight of the ball, he could have stepped on the bag and made it to second base.
Looks like he stepped on the back side of the bag as opposed to that front corner. So 2 down in the inning and a 1-1 count on Blake DeWitt, who's up to 309 for the season. He had a big series in Cincinnati with 7 hits.
I give Blake DeWitt a lot of credit. He sat around for a long time waiting for his opportunity to get some regular at bats, and he's taken full advantage of it. Big series in Cincinnati. Everything he hit was right on the button.
This one not so much, but it's a long run in for Ibanez, and he will get to the spot, make the catch, and the inning's over. The Cubs get their first hit, but still no runs.
Juicy Johnsonville sausage, made with only premium cuts of pork since 1945. Johnsonville, sausage is all we do.
The Kia Driven by Desire sales event. At Kia, we're driven to deliver better fuel efficiency. And we build some of the safest cars on the road. We're also driven to provide state-of-the-art design and innovative technology. And we're proud to be one of the fastest-growing car brands in the U.S. The Kia Driven by Desire sales event, with great deals on our entire award-winning lineup.
There's a way to let go of some of the annoying symptoms menopause brings. It's One-A-Day Menopause Formula, the only complete multivitamin with soy isoflavones to help address hot flashes and mild mood changes. One-A-Day Menopause Formula.
Look at all this stuff for coffee.
Oh, there's tons. French presses, espresso tampers, filters. It can get really complicated. Not nearly as complicated as shipping it, though. I mean, shipping is a hassle.
Not with priority mail flat rate boxes from the Postal Service. If it fits, it ships anywhere in the country for a low flat rate.
That is easy. Best news I've heard all day. I'm so amped. I mean, not amped, excited. I mean, that's sort of amped. Really kind of in between.
Have you ever thought about decaf?
You think that'll help?
Yeah.
Priority mail flat rate shipping starts at just $4.95, only from the Postal Service. A simpler way to ship.
Sunday at 1:30 East on WGN America.
Hey fans, how'd you like to hear the stories about legendary Wrigley Field from the players who lived them firsthand? Now you have that chance. Take a tour led by former Cub greats like Billy Williams, Fergie Jenkins, Doug Glanville, or Ernie Banks. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Raul Ibanez will lead off for the Phillies. Outside corner strike. Ripped into right center. How about Raul Ibanez? Recently had an 0 for 35. But he's hitting over 300 since. It was the longest hitless streak of his career. You know, he's had a lot of success. He's been around a while, but I'm sure in the midst of that 0 for 35, he had to wonder, am I ever going to get another hit? Ever?
When it happens early in your career, you ask yourself, am I good enough to play at this level? When it happens later in your career, you say, geez, am I losing it?
Dominic Brown, the right fielder. He has been the Phillies' top prospect, according to Baseball America, for 3 straight years. Going into this season, he was the number 4 prospect according to Baseball America, in all of baseball. Phillies let Jason Worth walk as a free agent. He signed that long, lucrative deal with the Washington Nationals. They've used Ben Francisco to make most of the starts, 42 of them. Brown getting his 14th in right. And he pops it up behind first base. And it'll be Darwin. Barney drifting into foul ground for out number 1. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Here is today's Grand Slam giveaway contestant. All season long, if the Cubs or White Sox hit a Grand Slam in the 5th inning, one lucky viewer will win a chance to receive $5,000. Go to WGNAmerica.com to enter today.
We talked about this earlier, Bob. You know, even the best teams, as the star players get older, you got to find ways to get younger guys into the mix. Dominic Brown, one of those guys for the Phillies. But they have a big payroll. You think about some of the guys making all the money. Roy Halladay, Ryan Howard, Cliff Lee, Roy Oswalt, Chase Utley. Banya's still making good money. Brad Lidge on the DL. A high ticket guy, Joe Blanton, Cole Hamels, Jimmy Rollins, Victorino. I mean, it's a long list, and at some point you just can't keep shelling out that kind of money, and that's one of the reasons why Jason Worth was allowed to leave.
I mean, Jason Worth was a big piece of this Phillies machine. One of those complementary players with this team. Didn't really have to hit a lot of home runs, just play good solid defense, hit for an average, get on base and score some runs. But yeah, you can't give everybody big coin. Got to cut corners at some point.
According to the great website Cots Baseball Contracts, they show there's Ruben Amaro Jr., their GM. The team's estimated payroll year to year. It's fouled off by the catcher Sardina. 10 years ago, the Phillies payroll was $41.6 million. It's now $165.9. I mean, it has gone up a lot over the last 10 years. Well, you know what? Is sellouts, you win a World Series, you're making money, you're going to spend it.
And just as a point of reference, Ruben Amaro's dinner cost $1.7 million tonight.
Ours only cost $10. We got a good deal. We're going to have more food at some point tonight. We're in Philadelphia with all kinds of delectable items to choose from. Cheesesteaks, Planet Hoagie. Yeah. Long look by Wells. Gets aside from Soto as Ibanez has his leadoff first. And a good block by the catcher. It's full 3-2. The pitcher Kendrick is on deck.
Giovanni Soto's had some issues throwing this year. He's had some issues at the plate, but one area of his game that has really improved is blocking that ball in the dirt. Now, granted, he's had a lot of practice at it the early going this season, but that's one of the skills that he has really worked hard to improve upon, and it shows.
Randy'd like a double play ball here. Runner goes on the 3-2, and it's high. Ball 4 for the second straight inning. They had 2 on with 1 out. Had a great rookie season with the Cubs after coming back from the Toronto Blue Jays. Struggled at times last year, didn't get a lot of run support. Missed almost 8 weeks on the DL this season with a right forearm strain. He's making just his 4th start of 2011. Kendrick already showing bunt, and he takes it low. He did offer it that one. A double check down at first. And Gary Cederstrom brings him up.
Only 1 sack bunt this season for Kyle Kendrick. We mentioned only his 4th start of the year. Only 5 at-bats on the season. Didn't look like his heart was really in that one. A little jab at the ball right at the very end. Pitch up out of the strike zone.
And Carlos Pena right on top of the plate. 1-2.
Well, you do have a chance on a ball that's bunted hard close to one of the Cubs defenders. Banez does not run that well. You could possibly get the lead runner at third base. But the key is to get an out in this situation.
Able to pull it back that time. 2-2.
Boy, very late pulling that bat back.
Two. Okay, Randy's just got to lay one right in there, Bob. Kendrick doesn't look like he can even get it down.
I mean, just a high fastball strike somewhere up around the belt or higher. He's probably going to pop it up in the air if he makes contact with it. You can overthink these situations sometimes. Just throw the ball over the plate, let him bunt the ball, take the out. But if the past efforts have been any indication, I'm not so sure Kyle Kendrick could get it down if he threw it right down the middle of the plate.
Kendrick has had success doing it. 24 career sack bunts. It's foul and he strikes out.
He was never close to getting a bunt down into fair territory right there.
So the runners are still at first and second for Jimmy Rollins. Ball 1. Talked about the ball he fouled off his knee on Saturday at Pittsburgh. He actually wears knee pads to protect himself from sliding head first, and said if he weren't wearing them, the injury could have been worse. The ball actually hit the pad. Kenny Lofton, who was Rollins' teammate 6 years ago, suggested that he wear knee pads. The count on Rollins. Polanco on deck. That's a strike. I seem to recall, Bob, Jimmy Rollins hitting a big home run maybe last year on a 3-0 pitch. Might have even been a game winner against the Cubs.
Now, you mentioned it before. Charlie Manuel, a former hitting coach, he's not afraid to green light his guys 3-0 if he thinks they're locked in at the plate.
3-2. has not been happy with some swings by a lot of his hitters in favorable counts. Runners go. That'll be a 3-run homer on a 3-2 pitch. And the Phillies get the lead. I think Charlie Manuel will be very pleased with that swing. Randy Wells not so much with the pitch.
Not a good pitch to Jimmy Rollins, but the real issue started with the beginning of the at-bat. You fall behind any major league hitter and let them take an aggressive swing at a pitch, well, bad things are going to happen more often than not.
Polanco skies down the right field line. Fukudome caught it in foul territory. We kind of lose sight of the corner outfielders in that spot, but nicely done by Fukudome. 3-0 on the homer by Rollins.
When you're looking for a twist, crack open a Bud Light Lime. It's a fraction of the whole, but it's hard to control. The great taste of Bud Light with a twist. Bud Light Lime. All the refreshment of Bud Light with a splash of 100% natural lime flavor. Bud Light Lime. It's Bud Light with a twist.
Klondike presents 5 Seconds to Glory. Mark Fritz is listening to his wife.
I was over at Jim and Nancy's today. Do you remember them? We had dinner with them a couple weeks ago over at Jill's house.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
No, not now.
Come on, please.
Oh, great.
Nothing's worse than a dead battery. And nothing's more reliable than a Duralast battery. Engineered to start day in and day out, even under the most extreme conditions. Duralast. Proven tough. Only at AutoZone.
Don't worry, Lucky. These Wheat Thins Crunch Sticks will save us.
Wheat Thins Crunch Sticks. Try our new flavors.
Good morrow, fair gentles. Look what I won at the Renaissance Fair.
Tomorrow, 9 East, 6 West.
What would you do with an extra $1,000 a week every week for the rest of your life? Play Cash for Life instant games from the Illinois Lottery. You keep living, we keep giving. $1,000 a week for life. The longer you live, the more you get.
Jimmy Rollins with a 3-run homer. Again, the Phillies have not been hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Just their second homer here in June. But this Phillies pitching staff doesn't need a whole lot of support. They have the second best ERA at 3.17 in the majors. Bottom 3 now. Soto, Colvin, and Wells for the Cubs. Well, Kyle Kendrick stays as upright as any pitcher in baseball when he goes into his windup. Even with the leg kick, he stays very tall.
And takes advantage of his height and his high arm angle. Throws a sinker from that high arm slot. And a lot of pitchers will try to lower their arm angle to get more movement on their sinker, when in reality, there's an old saying in the game: arm up, ball down. You get your hand up on top of that baseball, drive it downward toward home plate, and get the sink you want.
Kendrick 6'3", 211.
See Giovanni Soto talking to himself. Man, it's been a struggle since he came back off the disabled list. A very abbreviated rehabilitation assignment. Only played 2 games. Actually a game and a half, and just has not been able to find any kind of timing or rhythm at the plate since returning.
Got him. Time now for the Chevy Youth Baseball League of the Game, and we want to recognize Biggers Chevrolet for their support of the Elgin Classic Little League. Biggers Chevrolet and your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers are supporting leagues and young ball players in their communities through the Chevy Youth Baseball program. From the big leagues to the youth leagues, Chevy is truly the official vehicle of baseball.
When we talk about bunching your outfielders, that's exactly what we're talking about. Just line them up right behind the pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is spread out a little more like you would expect. But those kids in that Chevy promo, man, they were bunched up the middle.
Broken bat roller to Chase Utley, and the flip gets Colvin. He is now 0 for his last 33. Frustration continues for the Cubs starting center fielder tonight, and it'll bring up Randy Wells. Well, Bob, you talk about leadoff men after the pitcher makes, the second out of an inning, especially taking a pitch or two. It would probably be best for Randy to do that himself here, right?
Absolutely. He should probably take till he gets 2 strikes right here. I mean, if it was Big Z, a guy that could possibly hit the ball out of the ballpark or make something happen with the bat, then yeah, maybe you turn him loose in this situation. But boy, the way this Cubs lineup has attacked opposing pitchers, making a lot of very quick outs, a lot of very short half innings, I think the pitcher almost has to take till he gets to 2 strikes and then just battle the best you can.
That's exactly what has happened. And I think Kendrick knows that too. He's coming right at Randy Wells. Sinker is low. 1-2.
Well, we've talked about this before, Len. There is no such thing as time of possession in baseball, but if there was such a stat, the Cubs would be dead last in Major League Baseball. I'm sure of it. Seems like every time we're out there on defense, it's a 25 or 30 pitch inning, and then we come up to take our hacks, and 6 or 7 pitches later, we're right back on defense again, and with very few exceptions. Innings when Fukudome hits, innings when Carlos Pena hits, you have an opportunity to make that opposing pitcher work a little bit, but everybody else up there to attack.
And Wells serves that one into right to keep the inning alive. Second hit for the Cubs.
Nice piece of hitting by Randy Wells. Gets a pitch up and out over the plate. Hey, even an opposing pitcher, when a sinker ball pitcher gets the ball up around the belt out over the plate, it's very hittable.
This has pretty much always been an above average ballpark in terms of runs scored. Yet you look at the Cubs in this ballpark. Kosuke came in at 217 and 23 at bats. Giovanni Soto 2 for 18. Aramis Ramirez hitting just 250 and 76 career at bats. That surprises me. I thought there'd be some higher batting averages.
I think it has more to do with the Phillies pitching staff than the ballpark itself.
Might be. Yep. I think somebody from the Phillies dugout wanted that pitch. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Kind of like the configuration of the dugouts, Bob. They have a couple of different sections. One closest to the plate kind of allows the manager and the bench coach, maybe the trainer, the pitching coach, to talk freely without everybody else hearing them, and they also can get onto the umpires really easily. That goes 4-3. It's 3-0 Phillies.
There are two truths when it comes to baseball and car insurance. Just think 15. In baseball, it takes 15 outs to get to the middle of the third inning. And in car insurance, you could save 15% or more by switching to Geico. All summer long, whether it's baseball on WGN America or car insurance from Geico. The number 15 is all you need to know.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Do people use smartphones to do dumb things?
Send. That is the weekend.
Yeah, will allow me to crack the bubbly.
Don't mind if I do.
Is a gentleman with a bro stash invited to this party?
Only if he's ready to rock.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I was just curious, I guess. So I went on Ancestry.com, typed in some names, and up popped this little leaf. I clicked on it and saw all these documents. I even found out that my great-great-grandparents lived next door to the Wright brothers. I mean, who forgot to mention that?
Visit Ancestry.com and discover the world's largest online family history resource.
You don't have to know what you're looking for. You just have to start looking.
Your discovery starts right now on Ancestry.com.
Thursday. Finally. Dinner with the girls tonight. I really want dessert. I better skip breakfast. Yep, this is all I need.
Why skip breakfast when you can start your morning with new Special K multigrain oats and honey? A whole new blend of rolled oats and honey-kissed multigrain flakes. It's a delicious way to get your whole grains and make your breakfast beautiful.
White Sox, A's, Saturday, 7 East, 4 West on WGN America.
The 2011 Chicago Cubs baseball season on WGN is brought to you by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. It actually looks like it's raining in downtown Philadelphia. We're south of the rain. Well, I heard we got a major downpour overnight. Back in Chicago, temperatures really cooled off. Some flights were delayed. But everywhere we've been on this trip, it has been smoking hot.
Yes, indeed. I mean, dangerous heat here in the Philadelphia area today. They were warning people on the local TV stations that if you don't have air conditioning, go to an air-conditioned mall. Stay indoors if you can at all cost. Just oppressive heat.
Now it makes me think fondly of the Vet. Veterans Stadium tonight. Whew, we would have melted into the 40-year-old carpet of our booth. It was the stickiest carpet in the world, wasn't it?
Yep.
Peel your shoes off it. Great atmosphere, the Vet. Just it's seen its better days.
Yeah, but unlike some of the newer ballparks in baseball, I think they kept a lot of the same feel. I mean, the fans are still relatively close to the action here. Seems like the same group of fans that were at the Vet came right over here to Citizens Bank Park. Yeah, we talked about Yankee Stadium a week or so ago. A lot of people in New York are saying it just doesn't have the same feel as old Yankee Stadium. Even though it has all the bells and whistles, it's just a different atmosphere.
How would you have rated the turf at the Vet? Because I know for some football games, they always talked about how bad the turf was.
All AstroTurf was bad. You know, it was like they were all tied for the worst. I don't know if there was a good turf anywhere I ever played on. It's funny because when you first get to the big leagues and get an opportunity to play on an AstroTurf field, it's cool. You're bouncing the ball off the turf.
Chase Utley, deep to right. Kosuke has it.
Yeah, but then after you play on it for a little while and your knees start swelling up and your lower back starts aching, kind of loses its allure.
Why don't we ask Hawk Dawson about artificial turf? And Vladimir Guerrero.
Yeah.
Well, the wind is really kicked up.
Unfortunately, blowing straight out to right field, too, as Ryan Howard digs into that left-handed batter's box.
There's a pitch by Wells. It missed high and away. You can see that wind really playing tricks with their center field camera. Oh, it is gusting.
Oh, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. And those flags are starting to blow straight up.
Goodness gracious. You can see the pitcher, Randy Wells, Ryan Howard, the batter. Jerseys blowing around. Well, this is something else.
Yeah. Batten down the hatches. Holy cow.
They're going to bring out the tarp, and I don't think it's raining yet.
Wow. This is bizarre.
The wind just took off, and the umpires are going to call for the tarp.
I see some lightning relatively close to the ballpark here.
Again, it does not appear to be raining at all. The wind, I mean, it's raining in Philly. It's just not raining on us.
Good luck with that tarp. The way this wind is blowing right now. You get one air bubble up there, it'll launch somebody into space.
The wind has shifted directions quite a bit over the last few minutes as well.
They could use a few more guys on that grounds crew.
Yeah, this tarp does not want to settle down.
See, if this happens in a minor league ballpark, many times you'll see the players come out, take off their cleats, and help the grounds crew get the tarp on the field just so the rain doesn't affect the play. You can continue the ball game.
I believe the Phillies were in Colorado when they had a similar type storm, and yeah, the players did come out and help the grounds crew.
Yeah, it looks like they have a few security guards joining in to help the grounds crew get this tarp across the infield before it blows away. Still haven't seen a drop of rain here at the ballpark, but as you can clearly see, the wind just howling through the stadium.
So while they work on that tarp, we will take a break. We're under a weather delay, which is the best way to put it at the moment. 3-0 Phillies in the third.
Boy, I'm glad we got Aflac, huh?
Aflac?
Oh, I've just got major medical.
Major medical.
But helps pay the doctors.
Pays the doctors, boy. Huh?
Oh, yeah? What about your family? We added Aflac, so we get cash. It's like our safety net. To help with the mortgage or whatever we need. So my family doesn't feel the pain, too.
Help protect your family at Aflac.com.
Klondike presents 5 Seconds to Glory. Mark versus listening to his wife.
I was over at Jim and Nancy's today. Do you remember them? We had dinner with them a couple weeks ago over at Jill's house.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Losing power shouldn't mean losing time. The Next Tech Quick Boost, giving you a charge in just 3 minutes, getting you back to work faster. Get a free drill with purchase of one of these 12-volt tools. Craftsman, trust in your hands.
Tile regrout.
Grout tool, grout float, grout sealer, grout sponge, caulk, and a drop cloth.
Retaining wall.
Decorative block, tape measure, stakes, string,
Slag sand, hand tamper, flat pointed shovel. Booyah!
Someone's done his homework.
12-volt cordless drill, flashlight, and drill bit set, just $29.97. Portable sports chair with armrest, now just $6.99. Save over 40%. Get a 16-inch fan with remote, now $16.99. Hurry, sale ends Saturday.
For the right tools, products, and advice, True Value. Start right. Start here.
Still not raining, but the wind is blowing extremely hard. They finally did get the tarp down over the infield, but as you can see, a lot of debris flying around. As we sit here in the bottom of the third inning. Well, the wind not only kicked up, Bob, but really shifted. It was blowing out to right, out to center, and now it's blowing in from left center. And while we wait, a lot going on around baseball. The Oakland A's have made a managerial change after 9 consecutive losses. Bob Guerin is fired and replaced by your former bench coach in Arizona, Bob Melvin, who has a lot of ties to the Bay Area. He'll be the interim manager for the rest of the season. And it's the first mid-season managerial change in a long time. I think 25 years for the Oakland A's organization. Batting coach changes. John Maley takes the heat in Florida. The Marlins have lost 7 straight, 6 by 1 run. So Eduardo Perez, former big league infielder and outfielder, and the son of Tony Perez, who is a special assistant with the Marlins, takes over. Thad Bosley is out in Texas. Even though the Rangers are scoring runs, apparently there were some communication problems. So Scott Coolbaugh, who was their AAA hitting coach, takes over there. Derek Jeter starting the night, 11 hits away from 3,000. And Bob, we also want to mention a couple of sad notes in the world of baseball. Jim Northrup, former outfielder, hit the huge game-winning triple off Bob Gibson in the 1968 World Series. That was Game 7, helping the Tigers beat the Cardinals. He has passed away at age 71. He's from near my hometown in mid-Michigan. And in 1968, Northrup became the first player to hit 3 grand slams in a week. He hit 4 in the regular season. He hit another one in Game 6 of that World Series as the Tigers overcame a 3-1 deficit. And more sad news, Jose Pagan, who knocked in the eventual decisive run for the Pirates in Game 7 of the 1971 World Series against Baltimore, has died at age 76. 15 years as a shortstop in the majors. He played a lot of other positions. A weather delay here in Philadelphia. Still not raining. The wind blowing very hard. The tarp is on the field, and right now we'll sit it out. Phillies lead 3-0 in the third, and we'll be back.
Who has the best baby back ribs in America tonight?
On an endless dinner buffet.
Only Golden Corral has non-stop baby back ribs, all on our endless dinner buffet, still for an amazing low price. And join us for dinner Sunday, June 19th for Father's Day.
Losing power shouldn't mean losing time. The Next Tech Quick Boost, giving you a charge in just 3 minutes, getting you back to work faster. Get a free drill with purchase of one of these 12-volt tools. Craftsman, trust in your hands.
Ooh, a brain teaser. How can Expedia now save me even more on my hotel? Well, hotels know they can't fill every room every day, like this one, and this one, and oops. My bad. So they give Expedia ginormous discounts with these unpublished rates, which means I get an even more rockin' hotel for less. My brain didn't even break a sweat. Where you book matters. Expedia.
Tile regrout.
Grout tool, grout float, grout sealer, grout sponge, caulk, and a drop cloth.
Retaining wall.
Decorative block, tape measure, stakes, string, line.
Slag sand, hand tamper, flat pointed shovel. Booyah.
Someone's done his homework.
12-volt cordless drill, flashlight, and drill bit set, just $29.97. Portable sports chair with armrest, now just $6.99. Save over 40%. Get a 16-inch fan with remote, now $16.99. Hurry, sale ends Saturday.
For the right tools, products, and advice, True Value. Start right. Start here.
At Dairy Queen, we don't stop at good enough. We don't just stop at treats. We also make amazing food. We don't just give you a bacon cheese grill burger for lunch. We give you a shake, too, for just $3.99. We don't just have a fluffy cloud. We have a fluffy cloud that goes... Yeah! And I'm not just water skiing. I'm water ski boxing. Because at Dairy Queen, good isn't good enough. Yeah! A quarter-pound bacon cheese grill burger and a famous DQ shake for just $3.99. So good, it's ridiculous.
3-0 Phillies over the Cubs. A strange weather delay. Right now it's a wind delay. There might be some storms to head through here, but according to amateur meteorologist Bob Brenly, it should not take long for us to resume. In fact, you see the grounds crew right now out on that tarp. 3-0 Phillies. The Cubs finally able to snap the 8-game losing streak yesterday, and it's always good to win on getaway day. And Bob, you take it day to day. If you win, you feel good. If you lose, you don't.
Well, and that's the way it's been pretty much all season for the Cubs. They've celebrated their victories heartily, and they've suffered their losses in the exact opposite way. We talked about it at the top of the show. Yesterday was absolutely the perfect formula for a Cubs victory. We talked about it all spring. We talked about it the early part of the season. If your starter can get you 5 or 6 strong innings, patch it together with Marshall, Wood, and Marmol at the end as far as the pitching goes, and we expected some home runs from this lineup. We expected them to slug this season. That's exactly what happened yesterday in Cincinnati, and it was a beautiful ball game to watch.
One of the problems, it wasn't yesterday as the Cubs got the back-to-back home runs, but Jimmy Rollins with a 3-run homer tonight, and during this rough stretch, the Cubs have been out-homered badly.
Yeah, they really have been, and certainly a large part of that's the fact that Alfonso Soriano's not with the ball club. He was hitting the ball out of the ballpark with some regularity. Carlos Pena is starting to show some signs that he is going to be that guy that is a threat in the middle of the lineup. You just hope that when he does hit those homers, there's somebody on base ahead of him.
Let's show you the Jimmy Rollins home run. It came on a 3-2 pitch. In fact, it was 3-0, then 3-1, then 3-2. And Rollins took the sinker up and out for a home run, his 4th of the year, to give the Phillies the lead. And again, we don't expect this game to be called or anything. We don't expect to be sitting here for the next 3 hours and the umpires to say they're going to just wash out what's happened to this point. But the one question will be, can the starting pitchers remain in this game? Right now, Randy Wells on the mound. And as we look ahead, the next 3 will be against the Phillies. Then the Cubs head home. Milwaukee, the hottest team in baseball since the early part of May. However, a lot of that has been at home. They have won 4 in a row on the road, but 6 games under away from Miller Park. The Yankees come in near the top of the American League East. The White Sox playing a lot better baseball, and you can't take Kansas City for granted either.
Well, you really can't take anybody for granted at this point. It's more a factor of the Cubs playing better baseball than worrying about who the opponent happens to be on a given night. They got to catch the ball a little bit better. They got to run the bases a little bit smarter and hope for good pitching performances by their starters to get a little bit deeper into the ball game so that Mike Quade can use that bullpen in an orderly fashion and hopefully keep hitting some balls out of the park.
And that bullpen will be tested, and that's why you need to get them rest whenever you can. The Cubs are in a stretch now of 38 games over the next 38 days leading into the All-Star break. 3-0 weather delay, bottom of the 3rd, and we'll have more from Citizens Bank Park in a moment.
In New Orleans, we know how to throw a party. In the UFC, we know how to kick back.
Throwing a Bud Light contest winners, and here we go.
Bud Light's giving away thousands of trips to New Orleans for the Bud Light UFC Battle on the Bayou. Get in on the action at Facebook.com/Bud Light or wherever Bud Light is sold.
It's the sure sign of fight night. Here we go.
Boy, I'm glad we got Aflac, huh?
Aflac.
Oh, I've just got major medical.
Major medical.
But helps pay the doctors.
Where's the doctor's boy?
Oh, yeah? What about your family? We added Aflac, so we get cash. It's like our safety net. To help with the mortgage or whatever we need. So my family doesn't feel the pain, too.
Help protect your family at Aflac.com.
No, not now. Come on, please.
Oh, great.
Nothing's worse than a dead battery. And nothing's more reliable than a Duralast battery. Engineered to start day in and day out, even under the most extreme conditions. Duralast. Proven tough. Only at AutoZone.
A weather delay here in Philadelphia. Phillies leading the Cubs 3-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. And always great to have with us Paul Sullivan from the Chicago Tribune, Cubs beat writer. And I know you got in today and some flight delays because of the weather in Chicago. And how about a delay with no rain right now?
You know, every time I come on, there's a weather delay with no rain. This is like my third or fourth rain delay without rain, so I'm kind of used to it.
We understand why, though, there's a delay. Yeah. It was so windy, I mean, Randy Wells couldn't even throw a pitch. Very bizarre.
It didn't look like he could throw one before that either. He looked a little tired there. I don't know what's up with him, but 46, 47 pitches the first two innings. Yeah, it's kind of probably a good delay for him.
Well, Sully, it's been a tough stretch to say the very least. The Cubs losing 8 in a row before winning yesterday, and I think the biggest issue, and there are a lot of issues, we've talked a lot about them, is getting consistent starting pitching.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the worst ERA, I think, in the majors, at least in the National League right now. You know, Dempster had that terrible April, came back in May, and after one bad outing, he looked good yesterday. Zambrano's really started to come on lately. They really need Wells to step it up, and of course Garza to be healthy. And that fifth spot, you know, it's going to be tough, but they need a lot of things, but pitching definitely is number one.
Everybody's trying to figure out what's going on with Tyler Colvin. 0 for 33 after the 0 for 1 start to tonight's game. You know, obviously last year, the year ended when he gets hit by the bat, and I think now it's starting to rain. And it's probably going to end up right in our booth because it's blowing straight in. Well, we knew it was probably going to at some point.
Well,
and here it comes. I think we're going to take it to a break. We've got lightning in the area. Paul, we want to make sure your safety is paramount.
Thank you. Thank
Paul
you.
Sullivan from the Chicago Tribune. 3-0 Phillies.
And 30 more minutes. This place will be indestructible.
Okay. I'm psyched about this. Really? Really?
Only one of us was supposed to come, but here we are.
I want to thank you for putting me up on the board.
And up we go.
It's insane. I know.
She seems to love it.
Zero calories. Maximum Pepsi taste.
Great save, kid. You deserve this.
Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
How I Met Your Mother has a lot of backstory that's always being filled in and carried on throughout the episode. It's just little tiny details, like, you know, that Robin has the pendant that looks like a handgun that you see before they reveal that she's a gun nut.
Ted is kind of against guns.
And it's funny even if you haven't watched every episode 80 times, but it's funnier if you have.
Welcome back. It is raining. We can officially call it a rain delay at this point, and it is coming down fast and furious here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies lead the Cubs 3-0 in the bottom of the third. And as we continue our rain delay theater, let's enjoy what it means to be a Cub.
It's a place where you walk in and you just flip back to when you were young.
You know, that bond never will go away.
One thing is for certain, they want to see this team win, and so do we.
It has been unbelievable, you know. I saw the Cub fans come out of the woodwork all across the United States.
This is basically where my career started, Chicago.
As I said, you know, it was golden for me.
I've been here for so long, but I'm still having fun. I'm still enjoying it.
I just want to say one thing. I don't want to say one word about what was here before I got here. In other words, prior to my coming here, the coaching staff or managership or management of this ball club has nothing to do whatsoever with me. And I have nothing to say about the way they ran the club or what they did or anything else.
After years as baseball's lovable losers, the Cubs hired manager Leo Durocher in 1966 to turn things around. Over the next few seasons, he built a team that would bring Cub fever to a peak in 1969.
In 1965, we had finished 8th, you know, in the 10-team league. And, of course, the first thing Leo said was, I'll guarantee you this is no 8th-place team. And he was right. We finished 10th. In 66, as I said, we were a bad ball club. 67, halfway through the year, we go into first place tie, and we couldn't get out of the ballpark because of the fans. And, you know, we were there 2 hours after the game. And I cannot explain to you that feeling.
I think our pitching is strong. I think our hitting has been fantastic this spring, and I think we've got a great defensive ball club, so we're ready to go.
Well hit, deep to right, back, it's all over. Willie Smith just homered. The Cubs win the game.
Willie Smith's opening day homer had the Cubs off to the races with an 11-1 start and had fans thinking this would be the year.
It was a team that came together, was coming together after 66. 66, we ended up in 10th. 67, third. 68, third. And then 69, we led from the get-go.
You could see the ball club begin to gel. 60, 67, 68, we started winning ball games. Fergus started tremendous pitching out here, and Randy was catching.
My kind of town, Chicago is. The Wrigley Building, Chicago is. My kind of town that won't let you down. It's my kind of town.
The names were all familiar since the Cubs starting lineup never varied, even while playing all-day games at home.
Leo always had a starting lineup. He put it on the team door as you left. And if you couldn't make or go to the post the next day, you got to go to his office and tell him. And this is the reason why I think guys played so many games in a row.
We were really a family. You know, we played together for quite some time. In some cases, almost 10 years. But it just never got old to us.
That's him. Where's he going? Back! Hey! Hickman did it again!
The Cubs clicked on all cylinders into August and seemed poised for big things after Kenny Holtzman's no-hitter against the Braves. But their big lead melted quickly as the Mets raced past them in September.
everybody was disappointed. In fact, that particular year, I had just got into a new home, and I had all furniture except the dining room table, and I told my wife, don't worry, we're going to be in the World Series. Well, that dining room table has not been covered since. I mean, you know, that's how we feel.
We got some bad breaks along the way, and then we played some bad ball games, so it's just one of those things, and it's hard to explain. The Cubs fans just don't forget you, and they won't let you. They just won't let you forget them either. And I'm very proud to have been a Chicago Cub and played with that organization, because I don't know of any other that, you know, you would have the relationship that you do with the Cubs.
The '69 Summer of Love saw the Cubs draw 1 million fans for the first time to watch a team that is still close as a group and with its fans.
You know, that bond never will go away, because we had that in '69. You know, there are no free agents. We were together, Ernie, Billy, and I. Ernie for 12 years, Billy, of course, for my whole career, 15 years. And then you look at the fact that the other guys, we'd been together 9 years. Not only were we close, I mean, on the field, we were close off the field. All the wives knew each other. We spent time on cruises in the winter. I mean, it was a close-knit family.
I really believe this. I think the teams in 70, 71, 72 were probably every bit as good as the '69 team. And we finished second on several occasions there. But I just think if we had really won in '69, we might have won 2 or 3 of the next 5 years. So it was a tough deal for us. It was the best of times and worst of times. It was the most fun I've ever had in baseball, but yet the last month was the most disappointing.
The thing is, you walk around in the city and see so many people walk up to you and tell you about the fun that they had in 1969. Although it didn't turn out the way we wanted to, but the fun year. We had a great time. We made a great run. And I like to think we didn't lose. The Mets just won it because they played great baseball that particular year.
I was proud to have been on that ball club. I was proud for what we had done that year. And, you know, the Mets just played extremely well and won the championship.
After 11 straight years without a winning season, the Cubs' terrible spring training record in '84 wasn't a big surprise. But a late March trade with the Phillies for Gary Matthews and Bob Dernier immediately turned the team in a new direction.
I remember Gary explicitly saying, hey, we're not playing this lovable loser thing. We're going over here to win.
Sarge just brought us the confidence. And it's hard to explain how, you know, a couple of guys can just turn a whole clubhouse attitude around, and that's what Sarge did.
I give a lot of credit to Dallas Green. Dallas Green really did a good job because he came over from Philadelphia. I knew him over there, and he had a pretty good idea. He was a former player. So he really put a lot of effort into, and he brought the right amount of players, and he mixed the right group of guys. And his coaching staff, he had a perfect coaching staff for what he needed to do.
Green wasn't through. Pitchers Dennis Eckersley and Rick Sutcliffe were added to the roster, and the Cubs were suddenly majoring in chemistry.
Wherever you went out to dinner that summer, I mean, you didn't have to pay for anything. Guys were picking up tabs, and but to see the city come together and to watch the bleachers fill up every day, it was something that I'll never forget.
You know, '84 was, you know, a cast of characters. '84, still, to me, it should be a movie. And it could go in a lot of different directions, man. I don't know that there's a leading character. There's a lot of people that, you know, were supporting actors that did a great job that year.
We just got along like family.
It wasn't just on the field. It was like off the field, the guys stuck together. It was like the family, man. You know, you never see one guy go out by himself. You know, you'd always see 2 or 3 guys going out. We're talking about the next series and things like that.
This Cubs team quickly developed a certain swagger and fearlessness, as evidenced in early June when facing Joaquin Andujar and the Cardinals.
Here's a man trying to steal home. Save! He's still home. He's still home.
I turned to Zimmer. I said, hey, Zim, I can take this. And he's, go ahead. You know, just gave me the sign. Let's go ahead. And I took off. I'm running down the line, and I'm hollering, Smitty, don't swing. And I slid in. I lost my glasses and everything, but I was safe, and that was a good thing about it. And Lee Smith looked up. He said, "Man, what are you doing?" I said, "I knew you were the batter. You know, you wasn't going to make contact, so I had to try to get this run in for us, you know."
1-1 pitch. He hits it to deep left center. Look out! Do you believe it? It's gone!
Cubs MVP Ryne Sandberg made himself a national figure with 2 June 23rd homers off Bruce Sutter. But as the summer went on, it was the naysayers that got Rhino's goat.
That's all we heard about for about the last half of the season was, you know, you guys are against all odds here. You probably won't win. And so that's what we're up against the whole time.
This time it was the Cubs who turned up the heat in August when they showed the second-place Mets they had plenty of fight.
I think the month of August for me was, I was National League Player of the Month. You came to the ballpark every day and you expected to win. And I don't think any of us, especially in Chicago, even the fans, had never had that situation where they all hoped you could win. You always hope that the Cubs can win. Everybody believes that they can win, but I think people knew that we were going to win when we came to the ballpark every day.
And it was so much fun to play in front of the fans that year because they were howling, screaming, and really getting into this thing and really thinking we had a chance. And we thought we were going to go all the way. And it's just, it was just one of those magical seasons that you look back on and you say, gosh, I've got 4 World Series rings, but there was nothing like the 1984 season playing in Chicago in Wrigley Field in front of the fans.
The Cubs kept control of the division and were in Pittsburgh poised for the clincher when Jody Davis told Rick Sutcliffe he needed something.
I went out there and I told him that I wanted to catch strike 3 to end it, and he still gives me heck. He says, you know, don't be afraid to give me a little more pressure. You know, I'm out here trying to finish this game, pitch a complete game, and you want me to strike the last guy out too, so you can hold the ball. And so, but that's what I went out there. I went out there and told him I wanted to hold strike 3 to end it, and worked out. We did.
Cubs are the champion! The Cubs are the champion!
The Cubs started the playoffs with 2 wins at Wrigley, but the magic of '84 ended with a painful 3-game sweep in San Diego.
I've never forgotten about it to this day. There are days that you actually will wake up in a cold sweat knowing that, for me personally, was just hoping that I could have just had one more good game.
There's no shame. As long as we did our best out there, you never know you don't know which way the ball's going to go. You don't know if it's going to be in the park, out the park, or what. Again, as long as you gave your best, that's all that matters.
Anytime I go to San Diego or see the Padre uniform, I can't help but cringe a little.
It just still doesn't sit very well, and I think I still have that inner drive and inner feeling of doing a little bit more than we did that year, which I think kind of keeps me in the game.
The only thing that bothers me is you go back and you hear Cub fans talk about, well, Leon did this or somebody did this. You know, we won and lost that as a team.
We take pride in making sure that, realizing up to that '84 club, you could come and get a seat in the friendly confines just about anywhere. After that '84 season, it wasn't to be, and I think the winning started after that.
Because a lot of people became big fans then, and I think there's a lot to say about the year the Ivies smiled.
The Cubs will be thunderous in 70 wondrous.
Was there ever a more joyous baseball player than Ernie Banks? Mr. Cub never felt the need to toot his own horn and was truly Mr. Humble.
That's the way my life was, and I ain't gonna brag about it. I might do it, but I'm not gonna brag about it, just as it should be.
That's a well-hit ball, deep to left. Back. Hey! Attaboy, Ernie!
The man who named the friendly confine still finds it to be a wonderful home.
That's what's important about the park itself. It's a place where you walk in and you just flip back to when you were young.
Hey, holy mackerel, no doubt about it. The Cubs are on their way. Hey!
Way's a little flatter.
Let's do it again here. Heat it up a little bit. Put it back.
Action.
Hey, holy mackerel, no doubt about it. The Cubs are on their way. Hey! Come on out.
For 16 seasons, Billy Williams was a source of power and grace for the Cubs, all while facing the likes of Koufax, Marichal, and Seaver throughout the 60s and 70s.
It was the golden era of baseball. I don't think you would see as many good players on any one ball club than you did back in that era.
For the Sweet Swinger, his 50-plus years in a Cub uniform has been the ride of a lifetime.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I can't imagine that I've been here for so long, but I'm still having fun. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still coming out to the ballpark and really like to see a good baseball game.
I know Leo and Joe Becker will have me going every fourth day, so I'll be ready.
Fergie Jenkins won 20 games 6 times in a row, and he did it with one goal in mind, to try and finish what he started.
My mother was kind of that inspiration. She said, son, if you go out there, let's start what you finish. And this is the kind of mindset I had as a youngster. And when I came to the Cubs, Leo kind of reinforced that. We didn't have a very strong bullpen. So there'd be lots of times he'd be walking past me in the dugout, and he'd go, hey, big fella, don't look for help today, or we're going to give the bullpen a day's rest. And this is the reason why I had a lot of complete ball games.
Jenkins' number 31 was retired in 2009 and now flies in its rightful spot next to his fellow Cub Hall of Famers.
This is basically where my career started, Chicago. Even though I signed with the Phillies, this is where I got team support, fan support. This is where I won most of my ball games in a Chicago uniform.
I think the trade did me a lot of good.
When Ryne Sandberg joined the Cubs after a trade from the Phillies, he couldn't have imagined the growth in Cub mania he would see and be a part of during his Hall of Fame career.
It has been unbelievable, you know. I think a lot of it started, I know a lot of it started in 1984. I remember the first time that we were in the dugout watching a game and we saw one guy standing on a rooftop. And we said, wow, look at the guy. He's watching the game from the rooftop. One guy. Now it was 2 guys. Now it was 10 people. Now it was, and they're just standing there because there was nothing built up there. So I saw all that happen, and I saw the Cub fans come out of the woodwork all across the United States.
Andre Dawson was job hunting in the spring of 1987, but he made the Cubs a blank check offer they couldn't refuse and followed it up with an MVP season.
Holy cow! Dawson hit his first home run of the year.
I look back on my career, and obviously those 6 years for me was a new beginning. And the fact that, you know, I won the MVP award after finishing twice in Montreal kind of just sticks out. I went the first year there.
The Cubs' newest Hall of Famer knew that a chance to play before the Wrigley Field faithful was the perfect fit.
It was golden for me, and I always tell players, if you ever have the opportunity to experience playing in Wrigley Field in Chicago on an everyday basis, don't pass it up. There's nothing like it. It's not about winning or losing. It's just the excitement, the electricity, the adrenaline that goes through playing for that organization in that ballpark. It's nothing that can be matched.
Greg Maddux was brilliant during his 2 stints with the Cubs, but is always quick to credit others for his success, including pitching coach Dick Pole.
Well, he taught me everything, really. I mean, I think I was a brain-dead heaver when I first met him in AA. I mean, I reared back and I threw it as hard as I could, and didn't really understand pitching a whole lot. And I think Dick got me to understand that there's always a right pitch to throw. And I also learned from him there's also a lot of wrong pitches to throw too. So
Maddux made the most of every day, every start, and every pitch thanks to a lesson he learned early in his Cubs career.
Tom Troublehorn told me, you know the problem with players these days? And I said, what's that? And he said, they're always looking forward to something. They're never trying to do something today. They're always, looking forward to the next off day, the All-Star break, the end of the season. They never stop and enjoy the day that's here. And I kind of thought about it, and I did that. I did do that. I couldn't wait for off days or the All-Star break. And I started enjoying each day as it was here, and really started loving the game from that day on.
Even though he was watching in black and white, the greatest third baseman in Cubs history knew from an early age that he wanted to play in Wrigley Field.
I loved the Cubs when I was in Seattle, Washington. When I watched the Cubs on TV on a Saturday, a game of the week, American League on Sunday, but there was something about Chicago Cubs and Ernie Banks. And all my offers to sign 16 Major League teams, the Cubs were the lowest, but I picked them because I felt there was something special, and there is something special there.
Santos' '69 Cub team may not have won a title, but that group is the foundation of the Cubs' amazing national appeal.
I think that team that year from '65 is the one that started all the great Cub fans. And the Cub fans, what I found out early, never lose their allegiance.
One thing you play for is to be remembered. And to play in a city like Chicago that remembers you, and whatever this dysfunctional gene that this Cub fan has, he has a tendency to forget about all the bad days you had, and he only remembers the good days. And that, my friend, is magic. And that's why guys like to play here.
My kind of town, Chicago is. My kind of town, Chicago is. My kind of razzmatazz, and it has that there jazz, and each time I leave, Chicago is tugging my sleeve. Chicago is the Wrigley Building. Chicago is the Windy City. Chicago is one town that won't let you down. It's my kind of town, Chicago.
Chicago was Joe Pepitone's kind of town in 1970. The free-spirited first baseman came in a mid-season trade to the team he had watched growing up in New York.
But I remember seeing Ernie Banks, how he held the bat, and I was a wrist hitter also. And Ernie just curled the bat. And boy, I always said, gee, I would love to play with the Cubs. And I wound up with the Cubs. And it was a great feeling. It's great ball players. When I went to Chicago, I really wanted to bear down and play, and I had good years there. And I just these guys became my friends.
Cub fans fell in love with Pepe, and the feeling was mutual.
It's just who played the old timers, and it's just the ball field was nice. It was, the wind blowing in, it was hard to hit him out. But I was a line driver, and I could get him out of there. And it's a great ballpark. I had a bleacher box when I played center field. Man, I played more football out there than I did the game of baseball. They would say, hey, Pepe, I turn around, boom, I get hit in the head in the football. And then other things they threw out of there, too.
No one enjoyed the game and Wrigley Field more than outfielder Jose Cardinal, who was adored by the Cub faithful and gave that love right back.
Those bleachers used to cost $1, when I played here. And then I was friendly with those people, right, because they was good people. So before the game, I was full around with it, young crowd, And then I enjoyed it. It was me. I know what's a show, man. This is something. Then I love the people.
Cardinal was hard to miss with a hairdo every bit as big as his personality.
I used to have a big afro, no doubt about it. And then a lot of people, they asking me all the time. I still coming to the Cub convention. Jose, why you cutting your hair? Come on, guy. Time just going by.
One of Lou Pinella's first moves was to bring former shortstop Ivan DeJesus back home to the Cubs as a coach, and the offer was immediately accepted.
It's good to be back. It's nice to be back here as a coach. I love Chicago. I think this is one of my favorite cities, and I think it's having this opportunity to do it, to get back to the game, and all the capacity. I think it helped me a lot.
Once a Cub, always a Cub, and no one knows that better than DeJesus.
They follow you. They remember you, no matter how long or how old you are. I think it's they remember you every time, for what you did for the team, for all the years that you played for the team. And I think that's nice. That's a nice accomplishment. If you're doing something good in your life, people still remember you.
Country boy Rick Russell was initially overwhelmed when he joined the Cubs in 1972 and was later joined on the team by his brother, Paul.
It was very strange because small-town farm boy
now being here in the big city and at Wrigley Field, and it really had been my brother Paul, his dream. He was the one that had always dreamed and listened to the Cubs at night under the covers, and so it was to get here and actually play with and be in the dugout and the locker room with these guys that I'd heard him listening to for years, and it was incredible.
Russell used Fergie Jenkins as his role model by throwing strikes and working quickly.
Don't get yourself in trouble. Make them beat you every time. Don't beat yourself. And if you watch it, it's very apparent. And I had trouble watching other guys pitch and wondering why they couldn't figure it out. They made it a whole lot tougher than it had to be.
The Cubs didn't have enough firepower to do much winning in the late 70s and early 80s, but they could always count on the fire of Bill Buckner.
I expected a lot out of myself. I expect a lot out of all the teammates, and if they didn't have that kind of attitude, then I didn't like it.
No one worked harder to get ready each day than Buckner, who was an all-star and National League batting champion despite leg and ankle injuries.
Deep in my heart, and what I did, I don't think anybody could have done what I did under the circumstances, and really, my ankle, people shouldn't even been walking on it, let alone going out and playing 162 games on it. So that's the thing I'm most proud of, what I was able to do under those conditions.
Sean Dunston played the game at full throttle pace, and his rocket arm always kept Mark Grace awake at first base.
To be honest, I'm going to make 15 to 20. He saved me about 10 errors, and I feel real grateful for him. I'm not complaining. I tell him, thanks, you got my house paid for, and I got you 4 Gold Gloves.
Dunston finished his career with several other teams and works for the Giants today, but once known the team to whom he will always belong.
Yeah, I'm a Cub. I don't care anybody say. Everyone calls Sean on me, Sean on me, Sean on me to the Cubs, and I'm proud to be a member of the Cubs. They say that the Cubs was losers, but I don't think so. I really appreciate playing for the Cubs. I mean, there was times we was 30 games out of first, but when we came to the ballpark, we had a sellout every day. So if you didn't tell me about the standings, I thought we was in first.
Rick Sutcliffe planned on spending only 1 year with Chicago after being traded to the Cubs in 1984, but quickly realized he had found a new home.
I truly found out why they call it the friendly confines. When I look back on it now, coming over here in 1984, I met a lot of people that I had never met before. But when you talk about Dallas Green, Harry Carey, John McDonough, Rhino, Jody, Sarge, Zonk, you're talking about some of my best friends on earth.
Sut made the most of every day in a Cub uniform and eagerly awaits every chance to come back to Wrigley Field.
It's always like coming home here. You don't know how bad I want to grab a sleeping bag at night and go out there on that little bump in the middle of the infield and spend the night.
Here comes the hook.
Kerry Wood provided many memories for the North Side and enjoyed all of them right along with the Cub faithful.
The 20 strikeout games, I'll never forget that. But I think just getting into the postseason, 4 out of my 10 years that I was here. I mean, that's the reason we play the game, is to get in the postseason. I was fortunate enough to get to the postseason 4 times. Just the atmosphere that the stadium brings and the fans bring to the field and to the players when you're out there, you really feel it. And leaving this atmosphere for playing here for so long and going somewhere else, it's hard to duplicate the energy that this stadium brings.
The Cubs Warrior now plies his trade elsewhere, but there's no place like his adopted home.
The 10 years I was here, the career that I've had here, the ups and downs, and it's been truly amazing for my family and myself, and I just appreciate all the kind words, all the great mail that I've been getting and receiving, and I miss you guys too.
What advice can you give to the long-suffering Cub fans who've been waiting for a pennant since 1945?
Well, part of the magic of the Cubs resides in the booth, where a pantheon of broadcast greats has brought the games to fans across the nation. Everyone's favorite Cub, Ron Santo, joined the radio team in 1990 to stay part of the club that keeps him forever young.
Young, this keeps me alive. Are you kidding me? What I've been through, when I get to this ballpark, I'm up here.
Play-by-play man Pat Hughes has teamed with Santo on the Pat and Ron Show for 15 seasons to form one of baseball's most dynamic duos.
It's an evolutionary process. This chemistry does not happen right away, but after you have been around each other year after year, day after day, you kind of learn each other. You know what to do and what to say and what might bring out some outrageous comments from him. But I give him a world of credit as well.
The pitch. A little pop fly toward Mark Grace. He's waiting. He's got it. The Cubs are in the playoffs. The Cubs win. The Cubs win.
Like any Cub fan, Hughes dreams about the chance to say the magic words all Cub fans want to hear.
Not only do I wonder what I may do at that time, I'm not going to rehearse it in my mind. I want it to be as spontaneous as possible, but I might think of a couple of things to add after the actual moment. I'll think about that later. But it also occurs to me that Cub fans have never heard somebody say, the Cubs win the World Series. The last time was 1908, well before radio or even television was even a dream.
Len Casper joined the TV crew in 2005 and relished the chance to be the voice of Cubs baseball on television.
I told myself before the season started, this is going to be possibly the most interesting baseball season of your entire life. There are going to be some ups and maybe some downs. You're probably going to hear some criticism. You're going to try to get to know about 500 names at the ballpark. Your head's going to be spinning. But take it all in and try to enjoy that roller coaster, and I think I did.
Following Jack Brickhouse and Harry Carey in the TV play-by-play chair is a responsibility Casper doesn't take lightly.
Back! Hey! He did it! Attaboy, Jimmy! Whee! That's for you, Jack. I think my first year I had to kind of sublimate that a little bit because it was overwhelming to think about it, and I'm just trying to do the job to the best of my ability. But as the years have gone on, and as I've gotten to know Jack Rosenberg, who worked with both Harry and Jack, and to really have the history soak in, I pinch myself all the time, and I do think about the incredible amount of history in this booth.
When he joined the Cubs, TV analyst Bob Brenly was well aware of the scrutiny he would face, since he played at Wrigley Field as an opposing player and spent 2 years in the WGN radio booth.
You have to be ready for the passion of the Cub fan. It's unlike any other. I mean, people will talk about the Red Sox and the Yankees, certainly two franchises that have a similar fan base, but they haven't suffered the way Cubs fans have suffered. So you kind of have to understand that going in, what it means to the fans here in Chicago, what it means to be a player on a Cubs team here in Chicago, and all help prepare me for, living with Cubs Nation on a daily basis. The game at field level moves lightning quick. It's a very slow-paced game for the fans. For us in the booth, it can be a very slow-paced game, but for the guys that are down here on the field and making the decisions that can alter the course of a ball game, it moves like lightning. You have to make decisions and make them quickly and be prepared to make those decisions on the spot.
No matter what happens on the field each day, Brenly wouldn't trade his seat for anything.
There's some days we have to pinch ourselves up there because you look out and there's a full house of crazy Cubs fans ready to watch a ball game. The sun's shining, the grass is green, the sky's blue, we can see the lake out there, the rooftops are filled. I can't imagine any place in the world where you go to work every day and have a view like that and get to watch a baseball game and talk about it. It's got to be the greatest job and the greatest view in the world.
One free shot. On me. Anywhere but the face. We're trying out new looks.
You look like Michelle Kwan in drag.
I kind of want to see those same parts on other girls.
Okay, well, I'm going to take those notes, and I'm going to shove them up my own.
That's foul.
Space Waster.
Respect my authority!
You know, as a doctor, I rarely root for the disease.
Oh, yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Am I right?
Whatever. I'll do what I want.
And I'm
30 more minutes. This place will be indestructible.
okay. I'm psyched about this.
Really?
Really?
Only one of us was supposed to come, but here we are.
I want to thank you for putting me up on the board.
And up we go.
It's insane. I know.
She seems to love it.
We are still in a rain delay. You see a little time lapse. The Phillies leading the Cubs 3-0 in the bottom of the third. Jimmy Rollins with a 3-run homer. We hope to have baseball for you here momentarily. While we wait for our Chicago area viewers, you will enjoy 2.5 Men. For our viewers on WGN America, How I Met Your Mother. Good news, we are just moments away from resuming. It appears as though Randy Wells is done, and Rodrigo Lopez has grabbed a ball out in the Cubs bullpen. The delay will be about an hour and 10 minutes. So we've kind of crossed that point of no return for the Cubs starting pitcher. And while we have a little extra time, Bob, let's check out our Bud Fan Cam.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at tonight's Bud Fan Cam.
Let your word mind move. Can you show me something beautiful? Beautiful. Show me something beautiful. Show me something beautiful. Beautiful. Show me something beautiful. Show me something beautiful. Beautiful. Show me something beautiful. Show me something beautiful. Beautiful. Show me something beautiful. Do you see the colors changing? Can you feel them rearranging? Amazing. Do you know who knows how to love you? I do. Can you feel the things that I do? Hey, yeah.
That's our Bud Fan Cam. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Trombone Shorty and Lenny Kravitz with something beautiful.
Looks like Danny Baez will pitch for the Phillies in the 4th inning. The starter Kendrick went 3, gave up 2 hits, no runs. Randy Wells 2 1/3, 3 hits, 3 runs. On the home run by Jimmy Rollins in the 2nd. So Lopez heading back toward the Cubs dugout with the pitching coach Mark Riggins. And let's check in on our upcoming schedule, brought to you by Lincoln. It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that. Feel smarter at Lincoln.com. This is the first of a 4-game series this weekend. We will have game 4, the final game of the road trip, on Sunday afternoon, 12:30 Central, as left-hander Doug Davis still looking for his first Cubs win against right-hander Roy Oswalt, who has lost his last 4 decisions.
Hey fans, play catch in the outfield, run the bases, practice in the batting cages, or relax in the dugouts of Wrigley Field on Saturday, June 25th. Limited tickets are available for $150 each and include a t-shirt, a photograph, a baseball, and lunch. All proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Well, we got a ton of rain, but the field looks to be in pretty good shape. They did get the tarp on the infield before a droplet of rain. We just had a ton of wind.
Yeah, the infield, the mound, and the home plate area should be pristine, just like it was when this game started. I would imagine there's some wet spots in the outfield, and certainly around the warning track should be a little bit sloppy, but shouldn't affect the play on the field too much.
Let's take a look at our Xfinity HD shot of the game. That's the delay right there, basically. Once the rain came in, it really swirled around this packed ballpark.
Took 9 tractors to hold down the tarp.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Umpires are back on the field, and we should be ready to go here in just a couple of seconds.
Well, in checking the weather radar, we should be good to go once we get underway here once again. It seems to be very clear as far as the eye can see on the weather radar. Does that make any sense? I guess your eye doesn't really see radar, but it's clear. Should be good.
Well, the Cubs minor league system has been excellent here this season, and all-stars at all levels, including 12 all-stars for the AA Southern League. Tennessee putting 12 guys on, including DJ LeMahieu, who is currently a member of the Cubs. Rob Whitenack out for the rest of the year. He's going to have Tommy John surgery. But boy, is that good to see. 6 Peoria Chiefs made the Midwest League All-Star team, and Justin Bohr, an infielder with Daytona, named the Florida State League Tops Player of the Month for May.
Well, fans may remember earlier this season when we were following the progress of the Tennessee Smokies, when every player on their roster was hitting well over 300, with the exception of a couple of the backup players, and they have just continued to roll. Good to see them get that kind of recognition going to the All-Star game.
So Lopez officially announced into the game, and he will come in with a 3-0 count on Ryan Howard with 1 out and nobody on here in the 3rd inning. We just cannot beat the weather this year. It's just been one of those years. And you sit there and you go, well, at least you get into the Phillies bullpen. The problem is their bullpen has been excellent. And the guy who's closing for them right now has been lights out. Ryan Madsen. Brad Lidge on the disabled list. He hasn't pitched at all this year. And Madsen is perfect in save opportunities. And their pen has allowed the fewest hits and has had the fewest innings in the league. That's because their starters have helped them out by going deep into games. It all works hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I'll tell you one, at least on the surface, a common thread among all the pitchers on this Phillies staff. Some with excellent straight changeups, and some with maybe their 2nd or 3rd best pitch being a straight changeup, but all of them use that changeup as a weapon. Ryan Madsen, as you mentioned, the closer, that's his best pitch, his straight changeup. That's his strikeout pitch. That's his out pitch. Saw Kendrick throwing some changeups earlier in the day. Cole Hamels, who shut down the Dodgers last night, featuring a real good straight changeup.
Lopez being used out of the bullpen. He's basically been pitching every other day. His last outing was Tuesday night in Cincinnati, an inning and 2/3, no runs. And he had to head out to the bullpen and start to play catch before the game because Ryan Dempster's hip was tight. But Dempster was able to make the start, and he got the win. It sounds like the hip is all right. He'll be ready to go for his next outing, which will be Monday versus Milwaukee. So a 3-0 count, 1 out. And Ryan Howard will dig in. And as we resume, Howard will take the walk. A 1 hour 17-minute delay. You see the temperatures dropped over 20 degrees. Randy Wells will be charged with that walk. And ball 1 to Victorino. Not everybody has returned to their seat, but mostly everybody, and save for about 3 or 4 people who just decided to sit through the rain. The seats were vacated. I don't know where they all went.
Must be an awful lot of room out on the concourse here at this ballpark, because the stands were evacuated quickly.
That's pulled into right past Pena, and they're at first and second. Now Ibanez, who led off the second with a single and later would score on the Rollins home run. Outside corner, strike 1. We'd like to keep the Phillies at 3 runs, because when they get to 4, they have only lost 3 times all year. Breaking ball strike. 0-2.
We haven't seen a lot of Rodrigo Lopez, but it seems like when he does get in these situations where he jumps ahead of opposing hitters, he just doesn't have enough to put them away all the time. Tried to go with the high fastball that time to Raul Ibanez. He jerks it foul down that right field line.
Cubs got Lopez from Atlanta in a minor league deal. That was May 26th, and the Cubs selected him the day after. Low and outside, 1-2. "35 years old. Padres signed him out of the Mexican League way back in 1995. Inside, 2-2. Up in the air for Tyler Colvin. Howard not even tagging here. He'll stay at second. And with 2 outs, it'll be Dominic Brown, the right fielder.
Good pitch that time by Lopez. Just went a little bit higher than Ibanez could handle. A sky-high pop-up into center field.
Brown began the year on the DL with a hamate fracture on his right hand, suffered in spring training. Foul territory. Ramirez over near the tarp, and he can't get it. Tried the basket catch.
Took a quick look at the tarp, then has to adjust his route to that baseball. Tried to make the last second over the shoulder catch, but unable to get a glove on it.
Swing and a miss on a changeup.
Dominic Brown is listed at 6'5", 205 pounds. He looks a lot thinner than that. Did have 20 home runs combined in the minor leagues last year between AA and AAA. I believe the Phillies think he's going to fill out, get stronger, and be a home run threat in this lineup.
Outside. Brown was a 20th round pick. He was not a first rounder, but we mentioned he's been their top prospect for a few years. Offered a football scholarship by the University of Miami. He's a nephew of former Major League pitcher Mudcat Grant, two-time All-Star. The runners will get a head start. And Soto's going to talk it over with Lopez before this decision pitch. We'd like to be able to get a few innings out of Lopez here tonight, having to go to your bullpen in the third inning. Runners go. It's low, ball 4. The catcher, Sardina. They have a couple of guys in their lineup tonight who are from Hawaii. Shane Victorino and Dane Sardina. Sardina's from Honolulu. Swing and a miss. Former Red, Tiger, and now Philly.
Yeah, first got big league time back in 03 with the Cincinnati Reds. A brief cup of coffee at the end of the season, but been on that shuttle back and forth between the big leagues and the minors ever since.
Pena racing over near the Phillies dugout. The slide, what an effort. Well, I hope he's all right. The glove actually ended up in the dugout. That's a fantastic effort by Carlos Pena. Appeared to reach over the railing, and his first baseman's mitt ended up in the dugout. Mark O'Neill coming out quickly to check on him.
Well, that's why you slide when you get close to the barrier. Try to protect yourself with that left foot, and then the right knee went hard into the facing of that Phillies dugout over there.
Kind of banged his right forearm as well.
Nice effort. Well, it just wasn't hit high enough in the air, and Pena had such a long way to go to get over to that Phillies dugout to attempt to make the play. Just couldn't quite get there in time. One last peek right there, goes into his slide to protect himself. The left foot stops quickly, then the right knee hits against that railing at the bottom. Good to see him back on his feet.
A 1-2 count on Sardina. Here's a pitch. 2-2. You've got a pinch hitter on deck, Michael Martinez. That'll be for Kendrick if this inning continues. Martinez is a switch hitter. And a full count, 3-2 with the bases loaded. Lopez struggling here to throw strikes. Runners go, and a bouncer. Diving stop by Ramirez. A throw to first. They get him. Nicely done by Aramis. So they leave the bases loaded. We'll go to the fourth. It's 3-0 Phillies.
Welcome back, Bud Light Port Paradise.
Here we go. Anything to declare?
No. What have you heard?
No. Well, we were, you know. No.
It just may be the best time you never talk about. Bud Light Port Paradise with 2 cruise ships, 1,000 shipmates, and 1 private island concert. Find out how to get on board at facebook.com/Bud Light. Here we go. What is that?
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out. Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
She felt lost until the combination of 3 good probiotics in Phillips Colon Health defended against the bad gas, diarrhea, and constipation.
And it helped balance her colon.
Ooh, now that's the best part.
I love your work.
Phillips Colon Health.
Kids love pizza, but will they love the Domino's specialty pizza that adults want?
It's a Philly cheesesteak pizza. Come on, it's got peppers and onions.
Try it.
No.
It's
That's for grown-ups.
What's grown up about it?
This.
This next one's my favorite.
Cheese.
Honolulu, Hawaii.
No.
Make everyone happy. Order any large specialty pizza and you can get a medium 1-topping pizza the kids will love for only $5.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. Nothing Phillies on a Jimmy Rollins home run in the second. Both teams into their bullpens after a rain delay that lasted an hour and 17 minutes. Veteran right-hander Danny Baez is on for the home team.
Different assortment of pitches than Kyle Kendrick, the starting pitcher in this game. You may recall he was a sinker, cutter, changeup guy. Danny Baez with a good fastball, a curveball, and a split finger.
Barney, Castro, and Pena. And first pitch strike to Darwin Barney. So Kendrick can't get the win. He only went 3 innings. You've got to go 5 as a starting pitcher. Even though he didn't allow a run. Hit well to right, but it's going to be caught by Brown for the out. Now Starlin Castro. Talked about this before. We've had a lot of rain delays, rain outs early on in the season, Bob, but how do you get revved back up if you're a player who had got stretched out, everything like normal, and then you wait for an hour and 17 minutes. You're just not sure how long that rain delay is going to be.
No, you really don't know. You hope to get updates from the grounds crew or the umpires to give you an idea of when you think the rain is going to stop and when you may be able to start preparing to play once again. That's the good thing about these newer ballparks, Len, is you know there's a batting cage right behind the dugout on the third base side. Plenty of room for the players to stretch out, get some running in, play catch, get some cuts, whatever necessary to go back on the field and be ready to go. It's a little tougher after a rain delay at Wrigley, as you can imagine, given the fact the batting cage is underneath the right field bleachers. The Cubs do have a net that they can set up in the clubhouse and do some soft toss or hitting off of a tee. But as far as enough room for guys to get their arms loose, maybe even run a few sprints, much easier at some of the newer ballparks.
(2-1) on the way is low. We've compared Starlin Castro's start to some other shortstops in baseball history. How about Jimmy Rollins? First 183 games of their careers. There's ball 4. First walk the Cubs have coaxed. What do you think? Jimmy Rollins, of course, is going to hit a lot of triples. How about Castro? Has been a triples machine as well. And fewer strikeouts. He's been a good contact guy.
I think the big difference early on was the fact that Jimmy Rollins hit the big leagues as a base stealer. He was a guy that you had to pay a lot of attention to over there at first, a very accomplished base stealer when he got to the major league. Starlin Castro still learning the fine art of getting a good lead at first base, picking his pitches to run on.
Pena swings at the first pitch and hits it way up in the air for Ibanez. 2 outs. I was going to ask you this question in the first inning, but Castro then flied out to the warning track. The splits are drastic. He's been a lot better as a leadoff guy than he has in the number 3 spot. His manager said, and I agree, that he's not a guy who's going to change his approach depending on where he bats. Do you make anything out of the difference in the average?
I don't think so at this point. I think maybe with some players it could make a big difference where they hit in the batting order. But from what we've seen of Starlin Castro, both at the end of the season last year and so far this year, I don't think he's going to be any different whether he bats first, third, or ninth.
He got a huge jump. That's a good play by Utley just to keep that ball out of center field.
I mean, we use that saying, it is what it is. Well, Starlin Castro is what he is. That's what he's going to do. He's an aggressive swinger who makes a lot of contact, whether it's in the leadoff spot, the 3 spot, or down further in the lineup. And at this stage of his career, I don't think it makes any difference to him where he hits in the lineup.
He's 6 for 6 on the year. He just tied Tony Campana for the team lead. Inside to Ramirez. 1-1. Kick in the 1-1. Bounce to Rollins. And that's it. Baez gives up a 1-out walk, no runs as the Cubs strand Castro at second.
I can't believe your head exploded.
Hey!
Zero calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
Great save, kid. You deserve this.
Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball.
People everywhere are taking a stand and booking on choicehotels.com.
When I book a hotel online, it should be simple and easy.
We have the right to take the kids on a wonderful vacation.
As long as I save 20%.
I want to guarantee that my room rate is the lowest on the web. And no vacation bedtime? Don't push it. Oh.
It's your voice, it's your choicehotels.com. Get the best internet rate guaranteed on over 6,000 hotels and save up to 20% every day. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Even in the most uncertain times, there are some things we know for sure. There will still be weddings, still be babies, and still be bright futures. That's why New York Life has been helping families plan for the expected and unexpected for 166 years. Backed by the highest ratings for financial strength, we're safe and secure, so you can be too. Give your family the gift of a secure financial future. New York Life, the company you keep.
Your funny bone needs some medical attention. Watch Scrubs tonight at 11 East, 8 West on WGN America.
Rodrigo Lopez and Danny Baez coming out of the bullpens after a 1 hour 17-minute rain delay. Baez batting. A native of Cuba, defected in Winnipeg, Manitoba during the Pan Am Games in 1999. He's pitched a lot. He's hit very little in the big leagues. You kind of tell as he gets ready to swing, he kind of bails out.
Yeah, that front leg wants nothing to do with it. This is a prototypical step into bucket. Watch the left foot.
Colvin drifting and getting under it. 1 away.
Hey fans, couldn't get tickets to the Yankees, White Sox, or Cardinals series at Wrigley? Cubs Destinations has spots available for these highly anticipated matchups. All standard packages include great tickets, first-class hotel accommodations, a special Cubs gift bag, a tour of the ballpark, and a private meet and greet with a current Cubs player. For more information, visit Cubs.com.
It's 3-0 because Jimmy Rollins hit a home run in the second inning with 2 men on base. It was on a 3-2 pitch against Randy Wells. Caught the inside corner, 1-1. Rollins from Oakland, California. Fair, backhanded by Pena, and he'll tag the bag. We said this ballpark pretty much full after the rain delay, but it's a lot more calm and quiet. This is a very rowdy crowd here in Philadelphia, and there was a lot of energy in the ballpark when we started the game, but very subdued right now. I think everybody's a little waterlogged.
Just waiting for something to cheer about again. Hopefully they will have nothing to cheer about the rest of the night.
At last check, Placido Polanco, the leading all-star vote getter among National League third basemen. Toward the hole and simply deflected into left by Ramirez. Castro pounces on it, keeping Polanco to a single.
Just a well-placed ground ball off the bat of Polanco. Got out in front of the Rodrigo Lopez offering. Ramirez can only get the webbing of his glove on it, deflects it over into shallow left field, but Polanco reaches with an infield single. I'll tell you, Lynn, we got to town last night and looked at the local papers this morning, and if you would not have checked the standings, you'd have thought the Phillies were in last place. Honest to God, the hand-wringing that's going on here in Philadelphia over their lack of offense and where are the home runs and what are we going to do? I had to look at the standings myself. I thought they were the best team in baseball, but you never would have known it by the reaction of the media and the fans here in Philadelphia. Very demanding.
37-25, and starting action tonight, a 3-game lead in the East. I think what it tells you, we've heard a lot of, the buzzword parity in baseball. Nobody with a .600 winning percentage currently. I think what it tells you is that every team has its issues.
Even the good teams. I mean, over the course of a long season, it's usually hard to pick against the teams that have deep starting rotations and strong bullpens, and the Phillies have that all night long.
And while they've had some offensive struggles, they have a lot of guys with a lot of experience. And I think the hope here is that those track records will mean numbers that will ultimately match what Chase Utley and Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard normally provide. I think the one guy who has done really what Charlie Manuel would have expected numbers-wise is the guy at first base, Polanco, hitting over 300.
Man, it's good to see Polanco getting some recognition. He's been one of those quiet guys that always seems to find himself on good ball clubs. And a big reason for that is the way he plays the game. Very unselfish, very solid fundamental player, especially at the plate.
He's been the American League Championship Series MVP. That was with Detroit in '06. He's been an all-star. He's won 2 Gold Gloves, a Silver Slugger winner. Can play just about anywhere. And no pitch. Time called. One and 2 with 2 outs. On the ground right at Darwin, Barney, and that will end the inning. 2-out single, no runs. After 4 from Philadelphia, Phillies 3, Cubs nothing.
At Dairy Queen, we don't stop at good enough. We don't just stop at treats, we also make amazing food. We don't just give you a bacon cheese grill burger for lunch. We give you a shake, too, for just $3.99. We don't just have a fluffy cloud, we have a fluffy cloud that goes... Yeah! And I'm not just water skiing, I'm water ski boxing. Because at Dairy Queen, good isn't good enough. Yeah!
A quarter-pound bacon cheese grill burger and a famous DQ shake for just $3.99. So good, it's ridiculous.
Don't worry, Lucky. These Wheat Thins Crunch Sticks will save us. Look!
Wheat Thins Crunch Sticks. Try our new flavors.
Tile regrout.
Grout tool, grout float, grout sealer, grout sponge, caulk, and a drop cloth.
Retaining wall.
Decorative block, tape measure, stakes, string,
slag sand, hand tamper, flat pointed shovel. Booyah!
Someone's done his homework.
12-volt cordless drill, flashlight, and drill bit set, just $29.97. Portable sports chair with armrest, now just $6.99. Save over 40%. Get a 16-inch fan with remote, now $16.99. Hurry, sale ends Saturday.
For the right tools, products, and advice, True Value. Start right. Start here.
Losing power shouldn't mean losing time. The Next Tech Quick Boost, giving you a charge in just 3 minutes, getting you back to work faster. Get a free drill with purchase of one of these 12-volt tools. Craftsman, trust in your hands.
There's one secret to investigating every case of violent crime. Staying alive.
Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win 5 $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules. The Delaware River has a little more water in it after that downpour. Blake DeWitt. Strike one from Danny Baez. Detroit beat Seattle earlier 4-1. Justin Verlander over Doug Fister. Verlander with 10 strikeouts and only 1 walk over 8 strong innings. Brennan Bosch homered for Detroit. Tigers creeping up on the Indians. They started the day a game and a half out. Cranked to deep center. Victorino going back on it, and he's got it. Right at the 409.
Good contact, bad compass. That is absolutely the wrong part of the ballpark to hit that drive. Lots of nooks and crannies here at this stadium, and unfortunately Blake DeWitt hits that drive to the deepest part of this ballpark, 409, and Shane Victorino never takes his eye off the ball and tracks it down right in front of the barrier.
Strike to Soto, who's caught looking against Kendrick in the third. The Indians off tonight, so Detroit now just a game back over in the AL Central. And Cleveland will be in New York starting tomorrow night for the weekend. It is raining in New York. Red Sox and the Yankees. Beckett and Sabathia, the scheduled pitchers. Soto strikes out for the second time.
Hey, Cub fans, on June 16th for the 25th anniversary of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, WGN TV and Pepsi want to send you and a friend to the Hollywood Boulevard Cinema in Woodridge for a special screening of the movie. Winners will receive a $20 food voucher and unlimited Pepsi beverage service brought directly to your large leather seats in a luxury theater. To enter, go to WGNTV.com/contest.
2 outs and nobody aboard. It's Tyler Colvin swinging and missing. Kansas City edged Toronto today 3-2. Luke Hochevar got his first win since May 1st, and Joakim Soria, back as the Royals closer, got his 8th save. Golf tie in the air. This should be pretty routine for Victorino. And the Cubs retired quietly, 1-2-3.
Ever wonder who's searching for you?
Who'd be searching for me?
Go to mylife.com, the internet's leading people search site, where you can find personal and business connections. More than just friends. Just type in your name and see if someone is searching for you for free.
Only 6 people.
At mylife.com, there are millions of people joining each month. You could have messages waiting for you right now. Go to mylife.com and see if someone is searching for you right now for free.
Boy, I'm glad we got Aflac, huh?
Aflac?
Oh, I've just got major medical.
Major medical.
But helps pay the doctors.
Where's the doctors, boy? Huh?
Oh, yeah? What about your family? We added Aflac, so we get cash. It's like our safety net. To help with the mortgage or whatever we need. So my family doesn't feel the pain, too.
Help protect your family at Aflac.com.
You can do impossible things when you unlock your inner awesomeness. Wait for it. Happiness is served.
Your kids can get an awesome toy from the new DreamWorks movie Kung Fu Panda 2, rated PG, in their McDonald's Happy Meal.
Losing power shouldn't mean losing time. The Next Tech Quick Boost, giving you a charge in just 3 minutes, getting you back to work faster. Get a free drill with purchase of one of these 12-volt tools. Craftsman, trust in your hands.
White Sox, A's, Saturday 7 East, 4 West on WGN America.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. Phillies lead the Cubs in Game 1, 3-0. The Cubs snapped an 8-game skid with a win yesterday in Cincinnati. They haven't gotten really anything going offensively tonight against a couple of Phillies right-handers, Kendrick and Baez. Ryan Howard is fouled out and walked. Ground ball into right, fielded by Darwin Barney as they overshifted. I'd say that shift worked pretty well.
Absolutely. Just like you draw it up right there. The reason the second baseman plays way out in shallow right field is because a lot of times Ryan Howard does this. He hits the ball hard. Darwin Barney, even though he's standing a good 20 to 25 feet out into right field, has plenty of time to throw on to first base for the out.
Lopez's spot, by the way, due up first in the 6th, so this is probably his last inning. He's done a nice job since coming in after the rain delay. Victorino shows bunt and looks at a strike. We see guys stretching out in the visitors' bullpen. It's a bi-level bullpen. The visiting team gets the upper bullpen. The Phillies get the lower part. That was reversed when this ballpark opened, but you see the fans up above. I don't think it took too long for the home bullpen to say, you know what, I think we'd rather be down beneath.
Yeah, a lot of associate pitching coaches up there to help the visitors warm up before they go into the ball game.
I don't think they were too afraid to help the home relievers either. Saw a little flinch there from the home plate umpire, Fielding Culbreth. Didn't call it a strike. It's 1-2 as Victorino stays alive for the time being. The next one A bouncer to Pena. Lopez over to cover. He just beats Victorino.
Good play on both ends that time. Carlos Pena fielding that deep ground ball, and Rodrigo Lopez had to hustle over there. Victorino streaking down that first baseline. This is why the pitcher is supposed to stay in fair territory as he takes that throw from the first baseman. You can see Lopez hit the bag with his right foot and then tried to peel back toward the infield to avoid that runner coming down the baseline.
The 1-0 to Ibanez. Fly ball left field. It's Blake DeWitt. And the Phillies finished in the fifth. That's finished with a PH. Fifth with a PH and a PH.
What up?
What up?
What up? What up?
What up?
What up?
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
What up?
Oh, did you just feel that? I think we just had a what up quake.
In New Orleans, we know how to throw a party. In the UFC, we know how to kick back.
Throwing over 3,000 Bud Light contest winners, and here we go.
Bud Light's giving away thousands of trips to New Orleans for the Bud Light UFC Battle on the Bayou. Get in on the action at facebook.com/Bud Light or wherever Bud Light is sold.
It's the sure sign of fight night. Here we go. Let's go.
Right now, get a free soft drink when you buy a Whopper, only at Burger King.
We have a pretty big family.
Yeah.
All boys.
I call them our starting five.
Yeah. So when we go out, like the other night, we have to make sure they get enough to eat.
Pass these down to your brothers and make sure they get some, okay?
Try Olive Garden's new 4-cheese pasta chetties, starting at just $9.95. Folded pasta ribbons filled with Italian cheeses. Try them with grilled chicken breasts and a garlic cream sauce, or with grilled Italian sausage, starting at $9.95. Plus, enjoy our unlimited fresh salad and warm breadsticks.
Olive Garden's one of the few places we can take our family where everyone's happy.
Olive Garden, when you're here, your family.
Well, only one big blast in this game, but it counted for 3. Jimmy Rollins with a second inning home run before a rain delay. Now post rain delay, the pitchers have dominated. Tony Campana will hit for Rodrigo Lopez, who is very effective. 2 2/3. 2 hits, no runs. The 0-1 on the way. Campana takes a breaking ball for a strike. That's the curve from Baez. Fastball high at 92. Left-hander J.C. Romero up for the Phillies. Polanco still in the third, even with 2 strikes on Campana. Curveball outside.
You can tell the advance report has gotten around the National League, at least as far as Philadelphia. All the Phillies infielders playing a couple steps shallower than they normally would, especially in a 2-strike count.
A little bit inside. And Campana has run it full 3-2. Baez has gone as many as 5 innings. But that was a crazy 19-inning game against the Reds on May 25th when everybody had to be stretched out. Boy, what a play by Howard. They got him. That's an excellent play by Ryan Howard. He knew he had to get rid of it quickly. And Baez was able to get over there in time to get the sliding Campana.
It's a nice play because it worked out. This is the kind of backhanded toss that will scare the living daylights out of a manager. He just chunks it up in the air, lets Baez run underneath it, and he just does get on the bag before Tony Campana comes sliding through on his belly.
Kosuke 0 for 2, ball 1. We talk about the World Baseball Classic involving major league players in the spring. Had a couple of them already, and it is an international game. You got a guy from Cuba facing a player born in Japan here in this at bat.
Pitching to a catcher from Hawaii.
Right. Guy from Oregon is on deck. Three and 1. Rodrigo Lopez from Mexico. Got the Dominican Republic represented. Aramis Ramirez, Starlin Castro. Fly ball out to Victorino. 2 outs.
And the next pitcher for the Cubs will be a left-hander from Texas, which is kind of its own country, at least if you talk to Texans.
Speaking of James Russell. Curveball inside to Barney, who's college teammate sitting in the Phillies bullpen, right-hander Michael Stutz. Both were with Oregon State. There's Michael Stutz. That curveball didn't curve enough. It hits Barney, and that'll give Castro an opportunity.
If you got to get hit, you want it to be on an off-speed pitch. That time Baez tries to overthrow a curveball. It never takes the break, but watch how Barney turns away from that ball, takes it in the back, and heads on down to first base. None the worse for wear. Easy for me to say I didn't get hit in the back.
That's right. Well, the Marlins lost again. 3-2 the final. Atlanta beat the Marlins. Jair Jurgens with his 8th victory. Another 1-run loss. During this 8-game losing streak, Florida has lost 7 times by 1 run. Barney got such a good jump, Sardina's not even going to make a throw. Cubs have 2 steals in this game. And for Barney, it's his 4th stolen base.
We got a great jump over there at first base. Baez paying very little attention to Darwin. And it's good to see some of the Cubs just thinking about stealing bases, being aggressive with their leads, getting jumps where they can. I mean, you'd like to think Carlos Pena and Ramos Ramirez are going to hit 2 home runs every ball game, but the truth of the matter is that's probably not going to happen. You got to find ways to get yourself into scoring position where you can score on a base hit.
Cubs looking for a knock right here to get on the board. Outside. 3-0 with Pena on deck. And he would represent the tying run if Castro reaches. Arizona ending a short 3-game slide. 2-0. A winner at Pittsburgh, knocking the Pirates back under 500. Micah Owings got the win in relief. Oh, another good start. Josh Colmenter went 5 innings, allowed no runs. ERA down to 1.12. Chris Young with a 2-run homer in the 8th. That was it for the scoring. Base hit right field. Fielded by Brown. Barney trying to score. Throw to the plate. It was in time, but it got away from Sardina, and the Cubs get their first run. It's 3-1.
Maybe too good a throw from Dominic Brown out there in right field. That throw was right on the money. Maybe took a little bit of a skip on Sardina. Just could not hang on back there behind home plate. I'll tell you what, Len, since the Buster Posey collision at home plate, seen a lot of catchers dropping balls at home plate. That was a tough hop for the Phillies catcher to handle right there, allowing Darwin Barney to score.
Looks like Romero's going to come in to face Carlos Pena. Most opposing managers taking every opportunity to have a lefty face Pena, who has struggled against southpaws. So this all starting with a hit batter after 2 were out, a stolen base, an RBI single. The Cubs now within 2 at 3-1. And we'll be right back.
Go girl. Go get it.
Dance for me, puppets. Dance for the puppet master. Oh yes, dance.
You love the dance.
Cece, glad you made it.
Ricky wins again.
Oh, what is this place?
Iowa. Only with maximum Pepsi taste and 0 calories.
Whoa.
I love it when he does that.
Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball.
What up?
What up?
What up? What up?
What up?
What up?
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
What up?
Oh, did you just feel that? I think we just had a what up quake.
Say what?
Up, dog.
I request
the highest of fives.
Freeze frame high five.
Veteran lefty J.C. Romero on to face Carlos Pena.
The lone lefty available for Charlie Manuel out of his bullpen, although he has a couple of right-handers that have real good numbers against left-handed hitters, but this is his only matchup lefty. Using him right here on Carlos Pena in the 6th.
Bounced foul. Carlos just 3 for 43 with 1 home run against lefties. An .070 batting average. And he pops it up right at home plate. It's Sardina with the catch in foul territory. The inning concludes as the Cubs do get 1. It's 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
Sunday on WGN America, the North Side 9 hope to shut down Ryan Howard and the Phils. Sunday on WGN America.
Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. And little man, little Lola wants you. Make up your mind to
One day, Pepsi, please.
regret.
What's going on over there?
Until the conversation turned, until the sun went down, and many fantasies were left. On that day, keep feeling fascination.
Welcome to Longhorn Steakhouse. Tonight, savor 2 steak and seafood combinations.